Alright, hey there everybody. Looks like this is working. Okay, and we're back at it. Today we're going to be doing a split stream. I'm going to be doing part Persona 3, and I'm going to be doing part Mechabellum. But we got a goal today, at least. So I did play a bunch of this on my off time to get some stuff done here, but we're going to see if it's enough. We're going to try and get some items, and we're going to go fight Death. That's what we're going to do. Gonna make sure that we've got like max theurgy gauges when we go fight him as well, so that's gonna be that. But I just want to check something real quick here. Yeah, we actually want to do one more of a thing that I've been doing, so we're just gonna do that real quick. Yeah, basically, I've gotten the stuff for the item that I was recommended by Union a couple of weeks ago, or last week actually. We're going to try and use that. We're going to go fight Death with it. I don't want to register here. I want to Dian Fusion to get rid of Scatty so that I can get a new Scatty. So that we can do some nonsense with that. Let's go ahead and grab one of these things here. I could get Chiyu.
This would be a wise choice. Please choose what skills to inherit.
I don't really care what we get here. Let's go with that. Let's get the repels down.
Appears it will receive an immense amount.
So get
Why,
me
this is exciting,
something new.
Isn't it?
I don't actually care if I fumble the fusion at this point in time either, so whatever is fine. Oops, shit. You know what? It's fine. I don't really need Miragidyne. Actually, I think this works out fine. Front the skill change. Okay, so that'll let me get another Scatty,
so far.
and then we'll just have to do one fight to get the Scatty up to the next level so that I can get the item from it, and then we'll go take those items. I actually don't remember if I need another one. I think I do, but we'll find out when I'm actually at the store and I find out that I actually needed two more, and I'll be very sad.
So you'll be summoning this may it be your inner strength.
I have so little money as well, so that's also not ideal, but whatever.
Very well.
Let's go ahead and leave. And yeah, it'll still have to be a like slightly high level fight. I can't do like a super low level one. Alright. Back into the tower we go. 244 is fine. And we'll just go ahead and
we're doing well.
Pop up there. I wish that the Lover's Arcana made it so that I could get this right off the bat with just one fight from, or without even fighting at all with the fusion. But unfortunately, that's not how this works. Alright, so you're Pierce, and you guys are also Pierce. And Ice. Okay, so let's just do this. And then we'll pass this off to Igus for the boost to her Theurgy meter. And that should be the level, and then we can just take the teleporter out of here and leave. If I have a teleporter, I don't actually remember if there is one here. There's gotta be one. Otherwise, how did I get here? Okay. I don't need that. Kinda don't need that. Take it anyway.
Mission complete.
And that should be enough to level up Scatty, so, you know, that's another one of these things that we get. Alright.
That was excellent leadership.
Yep, there's a teleporter
Keep
right
up the
over
good
here.
work. That teleporter can take us to the entrance. Try.
Okay.
Oh, help.
Alright, so that's doing some other stuff finally. I'll have to go back in there again like the next day, like just in the evening, so we'll fight Death.
Good morning.
Someone's in Tartarus, aren't
I'm
they?
calling to a
Yeah,
this time,
okay,
I believe.
well-
Goodbye.
You know what? Sure. Okay, fine. We were going there anyway. We'll try and just fight death first, and then we'll go after those people. That way we got the maximum amount of, like, stuff. Finally, on September 24th, the Satsuma Rebellion ended. Let's see here. That was the one where... That was during the Meiji Restoration. This marked the end, sniff, the end of the Age of the Samurai. Yep, that would be that one. You know what? I'm blowing off the next chapter. I want to go back to the Sengoku era. There's so much to cover. What? You want me to teach you modern history too? You guys are still in your second year. You'll have plenty of time to learn that crap in your third years. People out there might be talking about the end of the world, but believe me, there will always be another school year. I mean, come on. Has no one been paying attention? Look at all the stuff our country survived so far. Yeah, I guess? I'm feeling sleepy. Yeah, it's just keep listening to this weird rambling.
So,
Let's review what we've learned, starting with the Kamakura era. How did the Kamakura shogunate come about? Let me tell you. The emperor is a lazy person who just decided to hole up in his room and write poetry all the time on his Tumblr account, and because of that, the country got taken over by military dictators. I feel like there's something you could figure out from this, but I'm not sure what it is. Alright. So we do have, like, a bunch of social link stuff that we could potentially do. We could potentially talk to Junpei, which I don't really want to do, but I guess we're going to have to. There's actually also something going on over here. It's probably just Koromaru sitting outside, though, so we can kind of ignore that. Yeah, it's Koromaru. Okay. I would like to do something about that, potentially, maybe, but not really. Because I have social links that I have to cap out. Okay, so... I also have to get the Tony something whatever spear.
Creating a
Okay, so what
so,
was it that
what
we're
would it
looking to
be?
get here? I can't
What would you like?
remember where it is.
What would you like?
What's this do? Null's light, we don't need that.
So, what will it be?
What's this? Alright, this is something that I did. Is this why I got the third one of those things? I actually don't remember. This is the one that we definitely needed. 345 defense is good, but the instant heal is really good.
The more I study, the more I realize there's so much I don't
Got more
know.
of these soul seed drops as well, but we don't
I'll
really
make
need
sure
that
your
or care about
equipment
that.
is done right.
Papillon method might be good to switch to because it's got high
Here,
stats,
it's
but we're just
all
gonna
yours.
get
Are you
a couple of
sure?
these.
It's all yours.
And I'm gonna probably get this. Yeah,
You're
why not?
sure about this, right? Here, it's all yours. Which one?
Okay, so there was something else that I wanted here. It's
What will it be?
spear, I think. Tombo Kiri, I think.
Are you sure?
This better be right. I'm
That's
just
for
doing
once
it
that I
because
need.
I'm reckless
Come again.
and have no regard for my own sanity, and will do things just because I feel like it. All right, was this what you wanted?
Are you accepting
It
a
looks like it
request?
is. Okay,
Wonderful.
good. Damn, I don't need that. Oh well, okay, fine.
Very well.
All right, let's check what we got here. So, Yukari, you can swap that for the Divine Black Tights, which is actually a really big boost to her stuff there. We got the Lightning Gloves, which is what we want. We got the Goddess Boots, which is what we want there. Though we could arguably throw the Goddess Boots onto Mitsuru would actually probably be better with those, so we're going to swap those. This one's got Auto Masaku. I don't really need that. I need something better than the Achilles Guard because it's not very good. I kind of would rather switch to Auto Masaku, but yeah, I think we do that switch here. We got the Incense Box on ourselves, we got the Power Suit, we got the Excalibur. We want to switch from Illuminati, which I do like, over to the Snow Queen with, though, because it's got like 100 better stats. Apparently... okay, yeah. So we got that, we got the... Okay, that looks good. So I will have to buy something more for Aegis, it looks like. I'm just going to see what we can get for the armor. The one I was looking at with the additional Orgia turn
Welcome.
is
Come on
probably
in.
a
Which
good
one?
pick here.
So, What will it be?
But
What would
she
you
actually
like?
has a lot of options for armor that are in here. So yeah, like that's pretty
What
good.
would you like? So, what will it be?
Okay,
What
and
would
I
you
can't
like?
afford like something from here where we could get like Soul of Athena. Null all ailments is irrelevant for her. So the only reason this would be better is it gives you an extra like 40 defense, which is really good actually. The Swan Legs would actually be really good, but
What would you like?
I think we can get by without. We could get the Kugelbean also. You know what? Let's just get that combo.
Here you go. Thanks for waiting.
Wait a minute, that was the wrong one.
Here you
Damn
go.
it.
Thanks for waiting. Is that all you need? Hope to see you soon.
You know what? Do I want to just rewind that? I kind of want to rewind that. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, this is the right time. This is the right place. Okay, let's go back there. Redo this.
Welcome. Ugh. Creating equipment. So,
I think it was over
what
here.
will it be?
No, one
What
more
would
down.
You like? You're
So we
sure
got one
about
of
this,
these.
Right here, it's all yours. You're
Got
here
two
you
of
go.
these.
Here you go. Thanks for waiting. You're sure you go. Thanks for here you go. Thanks for waiting.
And then we
What would
also
you
needed
like?
to get whatever this
Here
is. There we
you
go.
Thanks for waiting.
I could also look to get a new bow. I don't like the lower accuracy ones though, so we're gonna
What
not
will it
take
be?
that.
What would you like? What would you like?
Yeah, so these ones would require something like this stuff. I don't really have access to that, and I don't really know if I care enough. Auto concentrate would probably be kind of good, but she doesn't really need it since I usually use her for healing and sport type stuff there.
So,
Let's just see if
what
I
will it
can
be?
find though a
What will
good
it be?
bow to throw on her.
What will it be? So, what will it be?
Calamity bow? That's got really low stats
Is
here,
that
so yeah,
all you
that's
need? Come
definitely
again.
weaker. I'm fine with what we got here. So we do that, we do this. That's fine. Do I have a better one than Cersei's bow? I like the magic +5 though as well. Like that's actually a really good part of that. Okay, we give you Goddess Boots. Blazing Flame's fine. Pandemonium was good, so we stick with that regardless. Kugelin. Lightning Gloves is good there. Then go into myself and replace those with Hands of Sandals. Okay.
Good day.
Strictly
are
speaking,
my
don't care about
materials.
this, but whatever.
Very well.
Okay. So that should be... we should be good. We should be fine. Everyone's talking about how the end is coming, but I don't care. All I care about now is this game. I'm getting a lot better at it. I can win a prize almost every time. My ultimate goal to complete my collection. You know, this guy is lame as hell, and I kind of don't respect him, but you gotta admit, you know... How's Persona Grind been going? I'm in that last month, like, ennui slump where it's just like I've been going to Tartarus every day, and it's been the worst. The last month of Persona 3 is like when you're in Persona 5 and you're stuck going to Mementos every day, and it sucks. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's awful. Yeah, but yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. I thought maybe you were like, you know, like rampaging through the streets of Minnesota or something like that. But you know, good to see you're safe. Alright, yeah, so I finally get to do some of these social links, but Junpei wants to take up my time instead, so... I'm probably gonna have to do... I'm probably gonna have to talk to Junpei, which really sucks. Let's just check here. What's my social links looking like here? Yeah, it's grim. I'm not gonna finish these, that's fine.
Yo!
This is probably gonna unlock some sort of thing. Don't get you started. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully I'll be done this at some point soon because I don't want to keep going to Tartarus. I have to go again like to Tartarus this evening because I have to finish a quest to like go rescue some people, but also I have to go fight death. So that's good.
Kinda messed up, don't you think? Playing catch is how kids are supposed to make friends. Adults can't just ban it because they feel like it.
Did someone try to do that? I don't know that anyone would even bother trying to do that. Depends where, though. You know, like, if it's right beside someone's car.
Yeah, that'd be the logical response, but I'm just saying, if more places end up like this, it's gonna be a real problem for kids who want to play baseball.
Yeah, fair. So, make more baseball parks.
In any case, I didn't know it was banned here till today. When I first moved here, I play against the wall every now and then. This whole catch thing, it's because I wanted to get my arms back in shape.
I thought you were a batter. I didn't... Actually, no, you don't play the position of batter in baseball. You play, like, a different position and everyone goes up to bat. I think. I don't really play baseball that much, but I do think that that's probably how that goes. I can't remember.
I've been thinking about maybe getting back into baseball again.
But then you'll have, like, a third base guy who's absolutely trash at being at third base because, like, hopefully people don't get there very often and they don't have to do anything, but then they're, like, an amazing batter, so that's, like, what they do normally. Or they're, like,
I still
outfield.
have no clue what I want to do with my life. And if I keep trying to avoid it, I'll have nothing but regret hanging over me.
Signalis is great. Like, I really, really like Signalis. That one's great. Well, I mean, you can anyway. You don't have to have actually played it. You can just talk about something from a complete place of ignorance, based on speculation and rumors from, like, the insane rabid fan base that that game has.
Next time I'm asked what I'll be doing in 2 years, I want to have a real answer. That's why I'm picking baseball back up. You, think that's the right call?
You know what? Given your academic record, sports is all you can really hope for. Go for it.
Oh, yeah? Well, that makes me feel pretty good about it then. Anyway, here. This is for you.
Baseball glove.
Today was a bust, but we'll try again another time. Hang on to that till then.
There's got to be, like, a baseball park around somewhere. Like, everyone loves baseball in Japan for some reason. I don't know.
Though I guess we'll have to wait till after you know what, huh? I don't know. Honestly, I've been feeling like this since April. I can barely juggle what I've got on my plate as it is, let alone think about the future.
Live space discussion? Yeah. Look, I watched like 9 hours of Undertale video essays, so clearly I'm the most informed Undertale person in existence. If you ask me if I've ever played Undertale, I have to answer, well, yeah, I have, but I've only played one ending, so I barely know it, so...
They're senpais, though. They're such badasses. They're still prepping for exams, even with everything going on.
Junpei, you do realize that Fuka, Yukari, and I have also all been prepping for exams and passing our exams, even with everything going on, Junpei. You do realize that, right? The odd one out here is you, Junpei.
Man, it's been a hell of a year.
Junpei, it's January.
We're gonna look back on all this someday and wonder how we ever got through any of it.
That fan base is actually crazy.
And it wasn't all good.
Yeah, well, you know.
And we hit more than a few rough patches.
Well, all the Homestuck fans had to go somewhere, you know.
Guess you could say our short lives have been pretty wild so far, huh?
You said it.
Right? Despite all that's happened, I'm glad you became our leader. I
Still
know
a game.
I said you should do what you want.
It does so many interesting things that
Thanks
I
for
really
choosing
like.
it.
Like, yeah, no, it is a really, really good game. I will
Well,
never actually bother playing through the genocide ending. Just not my thing.
Let's make sure this chapter of our lives ends on a happy note. And then, Hollywood will turn our adventure into a movie. I'd be the lead, obviously. Dude, you'd be a shoo-in for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, sure. Team lead is usually actually not the main character in like those sort of Hollywood style movies, so like he's got probably a point there. Like usually the leader's that sort of person who goes in like tells everyone else what to do, and then you got the loose cannon who's just sort of like you know, barely doing what they're supposed to be doing, but has their heart in the right place. So yeah, Junpei probably would be the lead in that kind of story.
That serious crap ain't our style, is it? Come on, let's head home. We'll figure out how to sweep the Oscars on the way.
What's up? I managed to get all the gear I need to go fight death, so we're gonna go do that. Did 2 playthroughs before looking up what I missed, and genocide is not your cup of tea. I don't think it's very many people's cup of hot tea, so like I think that that's actually not much of a hot take.
Welcome back.
It's good to see you again. Time seems to pass by so quickly lately. It's already the middle of January.
Excuse me.
Sora-san, I will no longer waver. Know what I want to do, and that is to fight alongside you. Oh, we're doing okay. I'm just gonna go into the misery fest that is Tartarus again, so that's, you know... So we're doing great now, because I'm not in Tartarus, but we're about to throw ourselves into the pits of Tartarus, which is kind of like hell, but not quite. It's more like purgatory.
Hey.
Studying for the college entrance exam got me thinking about where my life is going. So I'll say this again. We've all got our futures ahead of us, and we're not going to let Nick stand in our way. Oh, I remember, actually. I was telling myself I was not going to go into Tartarus for the next couple of days. Just... I don't know. I don't think that's a hot take in real life either, if you actually go by the numbers. There's like a very small, loud minority of people who are like, yeah, actually it's good, actually, but they're, I think, actually at a, like, 10%, which is way too high. But I still say that saying they're wrong is not currently the hot take.
I suppose.
No matter what may happen, I will fight to the very end, even at your side. I won't accept this fate. I'll stand against the fall. Cool. Can I help you? Let's talk.
Is that?
I've seen the new username Jin before. Is he friends with Tonic? He's very popular and has a lot of support from his followers. He's a very charismatic figure. That is absolutely not true. Can't believe he's the same Jin as the one from Strega. I also can't believe that, because that guy has no personality. Okay. Well,
Seriously?
everyone being fooled by that cult better wake up, man. Don't they know that Strega's all behind it? Hell, don't they have anything else to believe in other than Strega's BS sermons? Go by actual count, sure, but feels way too fucking high. Look, 1% is way too fucking high. Any percent is too high. Like, that's kind of too many people to believe that that's a good thing to have going on there. But, you know, I'd still say that they're in enough of a minority that saying that they're all wrong, incorrect jackasses is currently not the hot take. So, you know, I think we could still get away with saying that that's just normal. Okay, so I did promise I wasn't actually going to go to Tartarus during the 15th, 16th, or 17th, potentially, because Akihiko and Mitsuru have their final exams, and I would feel like a tremendous jackass for roleplay reasons if I brought them to Tartarus during their final or entrance exams. This is all your fault for bringing up Minnesota, by the way. I actually just misspoke. I was trying to say minestrone, you know, like the pasta or something like that. Yeah, but, yeah, no. I figured that you're sort of, like, kind of near there. I don't actually know where in the States you are. I just know that you're in the States and you're kind of, like, Midwesty-ish, if I recall correctly. I remember that your time zone's not that different from mine, and my time zone is, like, basically the Canadian Hicksville, so, you know, it's basically, if you draw a line southwards into the States, it's the same thing down there. But, yeah, no, I mean, interesting times that we live in, unfortunately. I don't like interesting times. I prefer the non-interesting ones. Got it down pretty close. Yeah, no, I kind of figured, but, just understands my pain and has answered all of my questions. Thanks to him, I've accepted the teachings of Nyx. Well, I only had the words to explain how wonderful it feels. Fanatical student. Well, whatever they wanna do.
You there?
You there. Suspicious-looking man.
You live in a world where emptiness roams and chaos reigns.
I'm trying to remember what the thing where chaos reigns was like a like weird thing that people kept saying for some reason. I didn't watch it very much. But I remember it's a phrase that someone says in something as like a code word sort of thing. Oh, well, whatever.
Struggle so fervently, twinkling like stars in the night. And such delusion will not lead to deliverance. Why not join us in the Messiah and await the moment of salvation?
I'm busy right now.
Time will not wait. If you wish to hear the voice of the Messiah, you must make haste.
If this is like a side quest that unlocks the Messiah persona, I'm gonna be so upset. That suspicious man that preached to me is staring at me from over by the wall. Once he starts, it's probably going to take a while for him to finish. Well, I have got an evening that I want to kill, so that would potentially be good. Let's see here. Oh no, your friend's gone missing. That girl disappeared. She hasn't even been home. I should have tried harder to stop her. Yeah, she seems like the sort that would have joined a cult. Christmas is great. I bought a leftover cake on the 25th and I just stuffed myself at home in the dark. I didn't even use any utensils. Some Christmas, huh? Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. And then he started crying in the middle of the dance floor.
Go have a look for
Got a
yourself.
curious one, are you? Well, there's so many suspicious people here. Okay. Yeah,
Thanks for
nothing
stopping by.
there. Well, isn't this town weird? It's all dirty and messy. I'm really sensitive to it. I can't concentrate anymore. It's messing up my rhythm. Are you ready to hear the voice of the Messiah and welcome to salvation? If I accept, I wonder what it'll tell me. It could be dangerous. What should I do? Not now. Okay, so this is definitely going to be one of those things that is probably a bad idea, but let's create a save and then we'll go do it. We'll drop that there. This is probably going to ruin my evening, but whatever. And then I got kidnapped by a cult. And then murdered, because this is the alley where everyone gets murdered in.
Go and speak to our Savior.
It's gonna be a cat or something like that. It's not, it's gonna be,
Well, well, well. I do believe this is the first time you've ever visited me.
I was hoping for a cat.
I'm sure you are aware of the coming salvation.
So I've heard.
Yes, you certainly wouldn't be so stupid. I'm certain you've realized it by now. We have no further reason to be enemies. Your efforts were all for naught. The Dark Hour will persist, and Nyx will bring an end to this planet.
If the planet's gone, then there can't be any dark hour. Just that's how space-time works.
Fate has been decided. But there is no need to worry. We are simply being freed at last from the illusion of a future rife with betrayal. Nothing more and nothing less. All you must do is embrace this truth.
Your tattoos look
Do
stupid.
so and I shall be your shepherd.
Do I look like a sheep to you? Fight's just begun.
But of course, that's just the kind of person you are. So then, you intend to fight Nyx?
Fight and win.
I see.
So stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
I scorn those who preach about the future with improvidence.
Why do you have two guns?
The world does not need a script that is already written. Nor does it want for charlatans who speak as though the future can be seized. What it needs is for the curtain to fall. If I just endure for now, if I can wait until tomorrow, these blind hopes for the future are the root of the people's suffering. They can never be saved because they look to a future that doesn't exist.
I think actually a lot more of the problems, as far as like that sort of nihilism goes, is people don't believe that there is a future. So
It doesn't matter whether you can defeat Nyx or not. Why, you ask? Because you won't even be able to reach her. On the day of salvation, I will wait atop the Tower of Demise for Nyx to arrive. And be warned, if you dare to oppose me, I will show no mercy.
Why should you care? You believe that Nyx is invulnerable. You should just let me do my thing. Doesn't matter, obviously. I can't believe that takes time. What a waste. Fortunately, I didn't have anything better to do, but, like, realistically, you can hear people talking.
By the way,
I've been feeling kind of down lately, so I went to Escapade for a change of pace, and someone was selling these brand new super cute accessories there. Sucks I couldn't buy anything, though. Everything was way over my budget. It's like nothing I talk about if I don't buy anything new. Is there anything affordable around here?
by the
Man,
way.
that's relatable. What about Umiyushi's new menu item? People will have been talking it up. What the
No
hell would that
way.
do? Maybe I'll try it. Gotta stay up to date with the latest trends and all. Well, it seems like a lot of trends have to do with religion these days. Sounds like some shops have new products out. I should take a look soon. Why would they have new products at this point in the game where, like, stats don't matter? Like, there would be no conceivable reason to need the stats. Ah, God. Alright. Better think this through. Man, now I sound like a teacher. Who would have thought that would happen? Choosing career sucks, man. I'm serious this time. Shit, what should I do? Alright. We got that one finished. Those are done. Alright, what do I do today? Well, I should probably make sure I've got some level of cash, but I don't think it matters if I go now or later. It doesn't really make a difference, but... Let's go talk to Kurosawa here.
Hey, I'm Captain. What'd you bring? Wanna sell and buy? All right.
That's a lot less than I was hoping for,
It's all
but
done
more
here.
than I probably deserve, so...
Be seeing you.
Alright. Yeah, Yuko, could be a person I could talk to today. But I think we were trying to finish out, like, Empress and Lovers, so we'll do those. And then if there's any time left after that, I'll do those. I don't know. Missing out on Aegis's completely feels really bad. Mitsuru wasn't around today, though. Huh. Okay, I guess we're talking to Yukari. Find out if that even works today. If not, we'll talk to Yuko. Demon School, I looked around at it. Apparently it's very different from Persona. It doesn't look like my favorite type of game, honestly, but I'd have to look a little bit more deeply into it. There's some elements to it that I thought looked kind of weird. But mostly it's like gameplay looked kind of boring to me. It's hard to find a tactics game that I actually like, surprisingly. Wait, I forgot to check something here.
Hey,
I don't have a Lover's Persona with me.
see ya.
Okay, but yeah, I do know about Demon School, I do kind of know what it's about. I don't think its gameplay looks particularly compelling to me, but... yeah, it could wind up being something that's a little bit better than I think it is. Similar time mechanics? Yeah, the social linky kind of stuff there is definitely there, and usually I tend to like those kinds of games, but I usually like those kinds of games so long as the
Welcome to
other
the
parts
Velvet
around it
Room.
are also good, which I don't really think Demon School looked like it had.
I, too.
Registering, I see.
I don't think I'll ever need another Scotty, so I think I can just go ahead and do
All
this.
registered. This is your
I'm
problem
pretty sure
so
I'm
far.
full here, so if I try to actually get something, I'm gonna be told no.
Browse to your heart's content.
This is the highest level Lover's Persona? That's really kind of depressing. All right, we'll get this
Please,
anyway.
You can't carry any more.
Yeah, no,
baggage.
I wish they gave you the option to
Are
kick
you
one
in search of
instead of having to
waves?
do this fusion thing here.
Shall we
let's just do a quick dyad
choose
fusion.
the personas you would like to fuse?
The second game by the FTL people. It's the one where you blow up like aliens that are trying to destroy buildings. Yeah, I played that. That one's really good. But it's actually,
Take
as far as I understand it, pretty different from that. Oh, I can just do this. That would get me the thing. I could also try and get an Addis, but I don't really care about that necessarily. I could get a Cert.
This one is somewhat beneath you.
Muspel Rock. Yeah, I know the game you're talking about. I can't remember it. I did beat that game, and I did think it was pretty good, but I thought it had sort of limited replayability. I actually think that the problem wasn't the lack of randomization, the fact that it was, like, very, kind of deterministic, because it's an interesting puzzle, and I think that its main flaw ends up being, like, the sort of lack of customization, because the customization in it felt really weak compared to FTL. That was the problem I had with it, as far as, like, longevity goes. Do I want to get this thing? Do I care about this guy? What even is this guy?
What do you wish to inherit?
It appears
Don't love this.
it will receive an immense... Well then, shall we begin?
If I recall correctly, though, the Demon School combat is a little bit more like just a standard tactical RPG. Just the progression in it looks kind of boring to me as well. My standards for like tactical RPGs, though, is really high. I don't know. It was a great first. Yeah, it was a great first experience. Unlocking everything is like pretty good, but yeah, it doesn't sort of have the right kind of customization, I feel like, to make your runs feel distinct from each other. I'll accept. Ghastly Whale. That doesn't really help that much. Okay, so we just have to go into Summon and
This
grab
is
a
your
Lovers,
progress
which is
so
going to be
far.
Raphael, and I have to double check to make sure I've got Ananta, because I might try to start talking to,
So
I
you'll be
guess.
summoning this one? Very well. It's yours. Are you finished?
oh, I should, do it this way.
Please choose the personas you would
Yep, we have
like
one.
to
Okay.
fuse.
Are you finished? We look.
Then again, I never really, like, dove as deep into, like, FTL as a lot of other people did. Like, a lot of people did the 100%, like, they got all of the unlocks and stuff like that, and I just did not have the patience for that. It's like, yeah, this run you might be able to find that secret NG homeworld that you need to get this thing unlocked, and, like, I don't care. I do not care enough to do any of the things that you're describing. Yeah, I keep it on my radar. It's been on my radar, and I've sort of looked at it, but I sort of glossed over it, and I'm like, I don't think this is quite what I want out of this kind of game, but... I think part of it is, like, my standards for tactical RPGs is, like, really, really high. I don't know why it is, but, like, a lot of them feel always like they're just... don't have very much depth to their, combat system or their, like, their tactics. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Oh, sorry. Don't scare me like that.
It's why there's
So,
actually a lot of tactics games that are,
there's
like, out there
something
that are
I've
kind of
been
new
meaning to
indie ones that a
ask.
lot of people actually do like, but I kind of haven't really grasped onto any of them and thought that they were really good or anything.
Are you worried about anything?
What's this about?
You always seem to be the one listening to my problems. So I just thought I could be of some help to you too.
The biggest help that you could possibly be to me is when I'm getting my face beaten in, which is fairly frequently, you use a healing spell, because that helps so much. You cannot even begin to fathom how much that helps me.
I mean, you're an important friend to me. Doesn't seem fair that it's been a one-way street.
Yeah, so if you weren't doing that, I would be literally dead, so actually, thank you.
What I'm trying to say here is... you don't need to struggle on your own. It feels like you're always helping others and not taking care of yourself. So, I want to be that person for you. I want to look after you the way you do for me.
Well, thank you.
Hey, I'm the one who should be thanking you.
You don't like turn-based much in particular, so mine are a bit shallow usually. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people where they sort of will look at a turn-based game in a certain way there. And I think I do as well, but I usually view turn-based as ones where you need to have a really sort of intricate layer of depth to it. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit just like you mash the attack button every turn. I actually like the Persona games for this reason, is that their combat's actually a little bit more layered than simply just rolling regular attacks constantly. Because you have to juggle like your sort of resources, because your regular attack does nothing,
there was
basically.
Something special about you. Remember when we first met?
Metaphor, I thought, was a
You
really
were
interesting
able to
sort of
summon
spin on
your
that, because I
persona
think
like
that
it
they
was
do an
nothing.
even better job of making it so that the combat in the turn-based sense does have that sort of layers to it. But usually, like, I'm for a lot of them, I like games like Fire Emblem, although I don't play all of them. I like games like the Ogre Battle series, and I like Final Fantasy Tactics. Those ones all have very different mechanics from one another, but they all have like a lot more like sort of depth. And Fire Emblem probably has the least out of those three. But
And unlike me,
yeah, I find
You
it
were
more
never
interesting when
afraid
there's a
to
lot that
face
you
the
can
shadows
do
head-on.
to make it so that your strategy works differently from other playthroughs, from playthrough to playthrough or whatever.
it's like you're a superhero, saving the day for others in need. I guess, deep down, I thought maybe you didn't need any help from someone like me.
She's having like her moment of crisis. It's like having this sort of like, yeah, he doesn't really need my help. As I'm like getting like wailed on by somebody, he's just, like got me by the throat, punching me in the face. It's like, you know, it's just Nyx beating the ever-loving shit out of me, and I'm like, oh god, please help me. And she's just like, yeah, I feel like he's got everything under control, really. Because I'm getting like turned into a pretzel.
But just because someone is strong doesn't mean they have to do
Her
everything
exceptions like
alone.
Metaphor or XCOM, where the turn-based holds up the longer term. XCOM is an excellent example of one that does have a lot of depth, but which also infuriates me. Same thing with Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon actually has a really great turn-based combat system that makes me so mad all the time.
There's no shame in getting support from other people. And sometimes
It's an extra for you and
that
not a
support
requirement.
can help you
What's
achieve
required
even greater
for
things.
me is like I have to feel like there's importance and weight to my tactical decisions and whether I win or lose. Like I can't just strength my way through by having really, really powerful units. Although maybe if you grind like way too much, that could be a way to bypass that. But I like it where it's like I have to make careful decisions to sort of craft my own way of getting through a scenario. Being goes next. Oh no, that looked like that moved. Put a lot of hours into both XCOM and Darkest Dungeon. I've put a lot of hours into XCOM. I put less into Darkest Dungeon, but I've also put a lot of hours into XCOM. I really like a lot of what they do in that, but then something just happens and you get really mad. I play XCOM exclusively on the hardest difficulty with Iron Man mode turned on, though. So, it's probably my fault that that's like that, but, you know.
That's why I want to be there to help you. I know that might sound weird coming from me.
I do a lot of when I'm playing like XCOM, where I will explicitly just focus on having more grenades because they don't flub anywhere near as hard or as often as other weapons. Okay, I'll probably have to use the computer thing there. Yeah, Darkest Dungeon I really like, but I also get so mad when I'm playing it. I also can't get very far into
Jeez,
it.
it's
I just
embarrassing to
cannot
say that out
have
loud.
like all those people with
I'm gonna
random
go comb my head
afflictions
for a bit.
sitting around. So I try to cure all of them, and that like bankrupts me. And then you're supposed to treat people much more disposably, and I just can't do that.
Point is, you can lean on me as a friend from now on, okay?
Grenades are excellent, yeah. Yeah, no, grenades, the thing I love about grenades in that game is that they just work. You don't have to have that, like, I got a 99.999% hit, so I'll take the shot, and then you miss it, and then you're like, well, I got 2 shots, so I'm gonna definitely get the next one on the 99.999% one. So you fire that one, you miss as well, and then, like, they crit you on a 5% chance and you die, and you're like, okay, well. The other thing about, like, grenades is that they're excellent for, like, opening up other people for attacks, because if you have got that situation where they're hunkered down behind that cover, you can get rid of the cover. And you can blow up all the cars, which is very important, because if you're taking cover behind a car, you'll die. Cars are, like, the most deadly thing in the game, and they're not even moving.
Oh, it's you.
Mitsuru Senpai and Sanada Senpai went to take their entrance exams today, and they're going again tomorrow. How do they concentrate with everything going on?
No.
Why couldn't I concentrate? I'm not about to give up. I suppose you could say we are defying fate, but I want to assure I'm doing everything that I can be doing. Which is to say, I won't give up either.
Oh, right.
By the way, if you're going to Taurus, I'll go with you. Final battle's in a couple weeks. I'm not putting training on hold just because of some exam. Wow, I don't know if I can keep up, but at the very least I won't give up either. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing another actual playthrough of, like, XCOM, but
Hey!
I would probably do something, get through a bunch of it, have, like, a whole bunch of flubs from, like, really improbable dice rolls, because you will have those. Break walls open, yeah, that's also really good. But I play it on Iron Man mode on the hardest difficulty, so I'll hit one of those fights and I'll get, like, a string of really bad dice rolls, and just immediately get wrecked as a result of that, because things can kind of cascade out of control once they start going badly enough. And then that kind of just, like, kills the run, and you just, like, say, okay, well, I don't think I can really recover from here very effectively, so I'll just, you know, like, start over, or I'll just play a different game now. But, yeah, if I was, like, not a moron, I would just play it on not Iron Man mode. Like, that would probably just make the game infinitely less frustrating. But there is something special about, like, beating an XCOM game on Iron Man. All my hopes and dreams are tied up in Mars Tactics right now as an XCOM successor. Is that supposed to be an XCOM successor? I didn't know that.
Hey.
Whenever I see followers of the cult, it just reminds me there's no way I will ever devote myself to it, even if I ever swayed to join. Hearing Natsuki-chan's voice would snap me back to reality. What if Natsuki joins the cult?
Perhaps.
If only everyone could form a strong bond with someone, then nobody would flock to that cult. Sometimes it's those strong bonds that get you into that cult, you know?
By the way,
Come to think of it, have you decided on a career path yet? I recommend being proactive now so you're not overwhelmed as a third year. I'm expecting to be a professional corpse within a few months. Remember, defeating Nyx isn't the end.
well,
It's a means for us to keep moving forward. Easy for you to say.
so...
I was thinking about what Strega said, about the fall being salvation. Didn't someone else say something similar? You mean Ikitsuki?
Yes,
Oh yeah, I remember Ikitsuki-san talking about salvation in the fall. Do you think it was just a coincidence? No, they were probably all being affected by Nyx, but, you know. Media is attempting to sway public opinion by reporting on Strega's activities in a positive light. Most popular queries on the internet include the keywords Nyx, cult, and end of the world. Closest looking thing to XCOM since XCOM, and we've got nothing from the actual mainline. I actually kind of wonder what their studio, if their studio is still even alive. I thought they might not be, honestly, but do people truly yearn for the fall after all? Maybe. People either have no will to live, or they aren't allowed to have any will to live. That's the current state of the society we live in. Man, this got so much worse. Let's see what's on TV. College entrance examinations held today. One student who brought a BB rifle to the testing center sent a panic through the crowd. Why did he bring a BB rifle to the center? Why would you do that? Yeah, one of the weird things about me with, like, XCOM, actually, is, I also really like their base building, even though it's, like, super basic and bad. Their base building is terrible, but I really like it. What we need is, like, some sort of, like, actual real city builder that is an XCOM, like, sort of situation there. That would actually be kind of wild. You know, like, you do your missions and you earn a certain amount of money, you can spend that on, like, a city skylines or a SimCity style civilization sort of thing. And then that provides you different bonuses or structures or unit types or upgrades, and, like, that would just not exist. I don't think that that's a thing that anyone would ever make, but I would love that. The combat in that would be ass, though, because the people wouldn't be able to, like, devote all the resources in the way they need to both things. It's the main problem with it. Okay, well, I could do some talking to those other two. Let's actually check something here. Stats, Junpei. Okay, I actually do have to talk to Junpei some more, so maybe we'll go do plants here.
Oh. All right.
So hopefully this boosts our,
The only vegetables I
our
ever
thing
see
to
in
the next
store,
level there.
plain old ordinary ones. You know those fancy veggies only people like Kirijo Senpai would eat?
I thought that was mostly fruits.
If we could grow something like that, we'd make a fortune, don't you think?
Do you know how much effort those insane deranged people put into their produce? Those people are nuts. Depends on how hard we try. It's harder than I'd want to try.
Oh, damn. So you're up for it? Yeah, we gotta dream big. You're pretty good with your hands, so what do you say? Want to join forces and make a name for ourselves? Well, we should probably get to work before we get ahead of ourselves.
I don't think Junpei really understands like how insane those people in Japan are that are growing like $500 melons.
This is getting really rough on my back. And my hands are all caked in dirt.
The reality sets in. The extra cares paying off. I think I could harvest more.
But for the sake of Junpei's brand name luxury veggies, I gotta keep going. I don't know how I could deal with all this on my own, so let's do this again, okay?
Say that, but I realistically think a AA studio might be able to pull it off. The reason I think that they wouldn't be able to pull it off is because the types of designers that can make a really good city builder, for some reason, don't tend to overlap with people who make really good tactics-based games. I don't know why, but like there are games that sort of meld those two concepts or ideas together, and they always do a really rough, really bad job on one of the two things. Like, they never get both of them to have the layer of depth that you would want from even a basic city builder, or in the inverse, they never have a very compelling tactics game. I think one of the biggest hurdles, like, is what Manor Lords has, which is they're trying to meld them both onto the same map, which is, I think, a mistake. I think Manor Lords would actually be better if you couldn't fight stuff on the main campaign map. But that seems to be something that they really believe is important to be able to do. I think that that's a mistake. I think Total War does it better, where you've got the campaign layer and you've got the battle layer, and that works way better. Songs of Six also does that. Some of the other games do that. Like Age of Wonders is the one that also does that. I think that works way better for combat than... that's actually a really good example, actually, because Age of Wonders is a great game because its combat is really compelling and interesting compared to like every other Civilization-style game. But their city building is actually way worse. Just gotta get a two-man team that hates each other and does one half of the game. Yeah, that's probably what you need to do. Like, literally just take two games and then mash them together. And then get some, like, poor sucker who doesn't do either of those games, like, does their accountant. They get their accountant and find he has to make all the systems that cause both of them to mesh together. That would be perfect, but that would probably collapse well before you could even get to crowdfunding. One of them would die, and it would probably be because the accountant snapped. Irritatingly catchy song. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna sell me anything. He's probably selling Apocalypse stuff. Yeah.
Not. But
Still can't buy those. The funny thing is, I feel like the player base... No, actually, I'm not sure that that's true. I don't get a third pass at it from the accountant, Lamau. Well, yeah, because, like, he'd be the one who'd be able to crunch the numbers of, like, balancing out, like, what the contribution from each side of the equation would be so that it goes cleanly into the other. Drop quarter SMT mechanics. Well, I mean, I can't say that I'm a huge lover of this game by contrast to the other ones like 4 or 5, but I think that it's an improvement over the original one. But the stuff that like were in the original, like you can't control your own party, was not interesting at all. But on the other hand, you know, you're allowed to like whatever you like. I don't really care. Koromaru's gaze at me. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would actually consider to be core Shin Megami Tensei mechanics. And which ones are, like, sort of ancillary. They've always had, like, changes between each and every one of their games. I always thought that taking college entrance exams was just a one-and-done deal. I actually have no idea how they work in Japan. But after taking the National Center test for university admissions, there's a secondary exam for each college you apply to. It's like there's no end to the test. Mitsuru-san and the other third years are amazing. Is that how that works? That sounds rough. Team Cherry is 3 guys. Time to pivot from Metroidvanias to turn-based tactics base builders, clearly. Is one of them in the account? Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe they could.
By the way,
This game pretty obviously believes in the cult and who doesn't. The thing for me is, like, I actually don't know if there is a huge amount of overlap between people who play, like, a lot of city builders and a lot of the people who like the tactics games. Like, I feel like there is some overlap, but I actually, now that I think about it, I don't think there's actually that much overlap. I think I might be an anomaly in that sense. But maybe not, I don't know. There's gotta be some people who will like both, but usually they're only good at one or the other. Do you have any friends beside us who don't believe in the cult? I'd assume most of my social links don't believe in the cult. I think so. That's reassuring. I think this kind of thing really reflects a person's virtue.
it couldn't be.
One of them does music sound design, he'll figure it out. Oh god. Machine that malfunctioned in the command room, the camera. Oh, don't mind me, I just realized something. Alright, what did the camera do this time? There's a lot of overlap. I think that there's a lot of overlap, but I think the thing about each of those demographics is that they're both looking for a very different thing from the game from one another. Oops. No recordings. How come... Alright, well. Not getting to control the demons that are followers to make them feel like independent characters, just like being unable to that paces the game. Yeah, I don't think that's a good one, though. You know? Maybe if, like, the AI was much better at creating, like, a cohesive strategy or something like that, I think that that would work out well, but it's pretty bad at selecting what you need to do, especially given, like, how limited SP is in this game and how expensive it is to actually replenish. Combined with sort of the fact that, like, you have to be hitting weaknesses in certain fights, it really, they'll do that, but, like, how they do that is something you need to, like, very desperately try to control in the original one, which was not interesting to have to do, especially if you're just trying to, like, grind up levels, which you did have to do. And then there's the boss fights where it's just, like, you know, they'll require sort of, like, you to tell them what to do indirectly anyway, because you'd have to change their strategy almost, like, every turn. Yeah, it was not my preference at all. Once they had the ability to disable that, like, that was one of the... I never looked back on that one. This one for this. I also don't like the reversals. The reversals were something that were very stressful in a way that, like, is pretty easy to bypass, but you had to take a lot of time to do it. Which was more annoying than it was beneficial. Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll like a lot of the stuff that they've changed is for the better for the most part, and I think they could have even gone a little bit further. Persona 4 and 5 also get away from, like, the classical Shin Megami Tensei stuff, which they kind of do even in 3 because it's not actually a Shin Megami Tensei game. They did that in America for the original release of Persona 3 for marketing purposes, because it was technically a slightly more established brand than Persona was, but it was never actually a Shin Megami Tensei game in Japan. Like, that's not how they view them. They viewed it as its own sort of style of brand that wasn't meant to really overlap that much. They just had similar mechanics to one another. So I definitely don't think that they're supposed to or needed to have the same mechanics as one another. You're done your exams, right? Starting believes the fall will bring salvation, but I wonder what my grandfather thought of it. He didn't believe in the future, so perhaps he also thought like Strega. But that's just speculation. The dead cannot speak on their own behalf, so we may never know. We must dive into the collective unconscious and find him there. Next episode of Phoenix Ranger Featherman R, The Great Emperor's Glory. Capable of permastun and cheese to balance out not being able to control your characters is why it was a Shin Megami Tensei game. To be fair, yeah, I did like being able to do the permastun stuff. That was very fun. I can definitely see why that's gone, though. It did make the game actually ludicrously easy. And it also made it so that the fights where you suddenly had to fight things that could not be stunned, way too hard by comparison. Because you would be coasting along like really, really easily in the original one, being able to like just fight by knocking everything over and not doing a follow-up attack, because you didn't bother doing all-out attacks, you just knocked them all down. And if you just kept doing that over and over and over again, you could just win the game that way. But then you hit something that's like tough to kill, and which was immune to knockdown because it didn't have any weaknesses. Then the game suddenly became ridiculously hard because you weren't leveled properly. Like you were way, way, way behind in levels. Like that. I think it's good that they got rid of that in particular there. And they didn't really get rid of cheese. There's still plenty of cheese. The one that's happened in like this game, Persona 5, for me, Metaphor, like every game that I played is like there would be some enemy that doesn't have magic or doesn't have physical, and you just bounce what they have back at them and they just die. That's typically been the big sort of thing there for me, where I cheese something that way. Metaphor, they had that really interesting area that you could cheese because you could just Knights Taunt everybody, and since they weren't allowed to hit you, they just... because God would come down from the sky and smite them if they did. They just couldn't attack you. That was an interesting level. I really liked that addition to that. They said that there might be something new here, and I don't see anything new. That is so goddamn expensive. I'm glad I'm not using that. Okay. But yeah, like, there's definitely an argument to be made, though, for that style of combat being more interesting. Because it does allow you for different types of strategies, and, like, you're compensating for different weaknesses than this, but I don't know that I think that it's better. Do I think it's worse, though? I don't know. I don't actually know if it's better or worse. I think it's just different. I would prefer to have control over what my characters do specifically, though, because that lets me have that sort of ability to create interesting strategies or decide specifically what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, I'm probably just going to do this again. Okay, so we'll be able to go back to Tartarus tomorrow. Well, it could be better or worse for one individual, depending on what they want out of the game. For me, I think it's more important to be able to control it because I want to do, like, that kind of stuff. That was a sick idea when you pull it. Yeah, paying attention to the story, you know. But yeah, it's gonna, like... Metaphor and Persona 5 have a lot of differences from one another, but they also clearly learn, like, from their own games, what they like and what they sort of, like, want to change, or they want to do something different. They'll sort of, like, abandon certain concepts and move over to another one. So they're constantly evolving their gameplay by small increments, but... you know, that does mean that, like, Metaphor is closer to Shin Megami Tensei than P5. In some ways it is, yeah. Yeah. But, like, clearly they did learn a lot from Persona 5 when they made Metaphor. It's been an awful lot going in the world lately, but you shouldn't let it get to you. Many people are overly susceptible to the effects of the cult. The worst thing a magician can do is lose control. Always do what must be done, and you'll be fine. Anyway, today's lecture is on the magic of ancient Greece. Didn't we do this already? Greece is known as the birthplace of Western philosophy and rationality, but the art of the curse advanced right alongside those lofty notions. While Greek was home to the great philosophers like Socrates, Thales, and Plato, and Diogenes, don't forget, it also had the home to legendary enchantresses. For example, there was Medea, the passionate sorceress of Colchis. She was a witch who didn't hesitate to kill her brother or even her own children. Then there was Circe, daughter of Helios, who was an expert in both poison and medicine, and probably fictional. Without Hermes' help, the legendary Odysseus would have been turned into a pig by Circe. I mean, would that have really been worse? Is the world worse for turning Odysseus into a pig? I'm not really sure. Metaphor is closer to Shin Megami Tensei than Persona 5 is to Shin Megami Tensei 5, not each other. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, no, that's probably true. I actually don't really usually think too hard in, like, direct comparison, so I usually don't have that in my head as to how close it is to one or the other, but... It's clear that pulls strongly from both. Yeah, it definitely is like... It's almost like they just took the things that they liked from both and then mashed them together a little bit for that. Because I think they wanted to get away from doing a direct comparison to like either of their series to make it like its own thing. That's probably what they were thinking, is they wanted to like take what they knew, but they also wanted to make it so that it was the metaphor combat system and not the Shin Megami Tensei or the Persona 5 one. Press turn about with flashy stuff, and I guess it's Norgay mechanics, but I like being able to overworld slay enemies before entering well, overworld killing enemies is just if they're like way weaker. It's just a way to make it so that you go through it faster if you're like way over leveled anyway. I think that if they remade Shin Megami Tensei games, though, like even the newer ones, they are actually a lot flashier, I feel like. I think that was just like graphical limitations on the older systems more than anything else. I don't know if they envisioned like their older games having less flashy graphics like when they were making them. I think that was just what they had to do, really. By reading between the lines, you can see ancient Greece's view on magic. Greek magic began to take shape around the 8th century BC. It's around the same time that the polis, or city-states, were developing. Like many ancient civilizations, they worshipped gods for protection. There were temples that priestesses attempted. These women would double as oracles. That's only sometimes. Gradually, however, these ceremonies were performed in secret rather than in public. The reason for this was the people's desire to monopolize the power of the gods. They copied the barbaric practices of legend, sacrifices, drinking, orgiastic festivals. I don't think that those were not kept out of public view. Those were right in public view. Dangerous acts such as these became widespread. Apollo, Dionysus, Orpheus isn't a god. These were the gods they invoked when performing the rituals. Are you all paying attention? Don't cross the river Styx now. Hee hee hee. How about I toss a question for you? Uh-oh, get it wrong and your aura will shift. Zilka, Bessa, Bessa. Now who to pick? I choose thee, Yuki, every time. I mentioned 2 Greek sorceresses. One was Medea, who was the other, Circe. I should have checked first. Very good, your aura is as clear as a mountain spring. The thing I think that they leaned into with Metaphor is like they did their combat as like puzzles, where it's like you had this sort of weird dragon that you'd have to fight, and the stupid dragon would have some kind of like weird thing that you'd have to do to like beat it. Instead of just having better numbers or better strategy or whatever, you had to like follow a very stringent set of bizarre rules that I would always forget. Which I actually kind of like, but I also dislike because I'd always forget to change my equipment appropriately and they would immediately nuke me to death. Anyway, back to the lecture. It was that secrecy which turned priestesses into sorceresses. Teachings originally meant to bring salvation to the body and soul fell into mere debauchery, which lured people down the hideous path of immoral practices. Necrophilia, using babies as potions or spell ingredients. This was the birth of the abominable dark arts. I answered correctly. Everyone in the class is looking at me with respect. Yeah, I feel like all those sort of things were actually, my understanding is a lot of those practices are actually not specific to those time periods, but were actually written about retroactively by people who are trying to demonize paganistic cultures. So I'm not sure that they actually existed in the context of the Greek city-states during their own time. That dragon who got triggered by your fire null. Yeah, and I could never remember which of my equipment had fire null on it, so I kept going into different fights with different fire null equipment equipped. Yeah, that was... It took me forever to figure out that was what was causing it to trigger that as well. That was great. Yeah, that sucked. I don't think... Was it fire null that I had, or was it fire rebound? I think it was like reflect I had, actually. Tried talking to a girl at the station the other day, and man, it was the worst. She's a believer of that cult, and she kept going on about nix some of this, nix some of that. What a letdown, man. Who the hell is this Nix guy anyway? I want to learn his technique. I don't think that is strictly speaking. Alright, whatever. Yeah, the other really funny thing for me when I was playing Metaphor is just how, like, I had a build, I had a concept, and it didn't come together until, like, literally the last fight, and I'm just like, well, whatever. That was awful. Oh well. But when it actually came together and started working, man, was it ever working. Maybe Mitsura's around. Yeah, I had a couple of different pieces. Yeah, I was wearing a lot of Reflect gear that game. Mitsura's not around again today. That's interesting. Okay. Two-in-one guy at one point? Yeah, probably. Parts of Mega Man Tensei is all about the unsmarting enemies, so say there's an easy way to defeat anyone if you're ready, while Modern Persona is for more about stats and damage. I feel like that was actually more true during the original Persona 3 than it was during the newer games. I feel like the newer games are more about outsmarting the enemy than they are about having high stats and damage. But I definitely do feel like you can get coast by in all the games with really high stats and damage, though. Like, I think that you can do that as a sort of out for players who can't figure out like the way to actually beat the game through like their gimmicks or whatever, so they just have to like grind levels. I think that that's always kind of been an out in those kind of games. But you definitely can do better if you just sort of like understand the mechanics and are using them properly or appropriately.
Hey there.
Wait.
There.
I feel like this is going to be the final one. Okay, so doesn't even matter. I didn't even need to boost my thing here. I just realized this is 9.
Hey, can we go look at some earrings? We didn't end up going last time, remember? I still need to check out what new pieces they have.
Hello, small child.
It's that kid. Hey there.
Oh, there you are. You need to stay by Mommy's side, okay?
There's dangerous cultists everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the like really old SMT games that were known for being like really brutally hard, though, those ones were probably more like
He
that.
was with
But
his mother today. Huh.
the problem with those ones is like they were hard in a way that's kind of interesting, but like they're also really rough mechanically. Like the mechanical advances in the UI and the gameplay since the original Persona are so stark. Like, I can't play Persona 1. It's just so bad to play it that way. That's a relief.
Yeah, kind of looked like he was lost again. So I was worried for a second there. I've heard that no matter how careful you try to be, kids just love wandering off on their own.
It's less that I think that kids love wandering off on their own. It's that they don't have the best understanding of, like, what other people are doing. So, like, they'll wander off somewhere and assume that other people have gone with them. So they're always surprised when they realize that they're by themselves. Like, they don't really realize that they've done that.
Especially when they're that young. Must be hard being a mother.
The PSP remakes make the UI that lose a little vibe to me. I don't even like them on the PS1, honestly, or emulators. To me, like, I do appreciate like modern conveniences in games and in game design compared to like what we had back way back then. Like, to me, some of the newer stuff is just so much more readable and also more playable than some of the original stuff. A lot more JRPG-inspired games after the success of E3. What I would love to see is more JRPG-inspired games that are made, like, outside of Japan, because, like, in North America, the idea of, like, making a turn-based RPG, story-driven game is just completely dead. They've, like, completely abandoned it for, like, open-world concepts, and I hate open-world games, so I'm hoping that they go back to having some, like, more turn-based-y kind of stuff there. P5 is groundbreaking. The design for P5 and the UI design is really good. P5 was groundbreaking in terms of like the aesthetic for the UI. I mean the usability, and even by Persona like 3, you're looking at pretty big boosts in usability in terms of the user interface compared to like Persona 1. The menus in systems in like games like Persona 1 just feel like so much more clunky, and they get better with time with that sort of stuff as well, in my opinion.
Anyway, you ready to go?
Honestly, I don't know if the
One of the
usability
earrings
of
caught my eye.
Persona 5's UI was better strictly than like Persona 4's. I feel like they're actually pretty similar. Western take on a... Yeah, that's what... I think that is true for Expedition 33. Although, to be fair, like, it's France, and they kind of actually were interested in that pretty clearly from the start. in my opinion anyway, but Japan doesn't need to make more, Europe/America do. Yeah, well, I don't think they need to. Like, if Americans just decide that that's not for them, then that's just how that's going to have to be. But I think Europe, the main problem isn't so much like a lack of desire from Europe. I feel like it's like they don't fund video games very well there, and they don't market them outside of anywhere. Like, you get the Eastern European games, and that's about it, and they follow more the American model, ironically enough. But like France, Germany, I feel like they could make JRPG style games pretty effectively. It's just they don't seem to make games there that make it across to other audiences. I don't know why.
Maybe I should find a new shop to check out. If I go on a day off, I could look somewhere a little further from home.
Yeah, I don't know why those
But
countries
if I
don't
go
have
out
very
on my
many
own again,
game studios
who
that
knows
make
what
their own
creeps
unique
might
games.
come after me. The news hasn't been very reassuring. Gee, what should I do? If only someone would come with me.
Yeah, sure, I'll go with you.
Thanks. I'll treat you to something when we get there.
Yeah, Japan actually might still be
So
oversaturated
much
in
for being
JRPG
afraid
kind
to
of stuff
rely
there.
on others, huh? Now it just slips out.
You have faith? I kind of almost feel like the main thing about those countries, though, is like they're more interested in the indie kind of games, though, to a certain extent. And there are European and Western JRPG style games. It's just they're indie. Like Undertale is that sort of like big example. That was an American made game. That's a JRPG basically. Only P2 has. It's definitely. I actually felt like it was a bit of a pain to navigate in those sort of games, and the features that they were using were not as complete as they needed to be.
I'll have to learn to hold back too. I can't ask for too much, but I shouldn't do everything by myself either. I guess it'll all balance out if you start relying on me more too.
Like I described, I need you very severely because otherwise I will literally die.
At least that's what I think. Oh, right. I wanted to give you something.
I need you like I need a blood transfusion. Is Cyberpunk European? I thought that was North American. Witcher is Eastern European. Kingdom Come, I think, is... That might actually be Western Europe. Undertale's indie, but also massively successful. Indie won't keep it underground if it's... Well, there are actually a whole bunch of like indie-style JRPG type games, I think, that are from Europe. But, yeah, I think that's kind of how they prefer those kinds of games. I don't know. I think that there's a sort of sense of like they want their titles to be more auteur-driven rather than like big studio, but if we're talking about like France at the very least. Yeah, I thought Cyberpunk was Oh no, Cyberpunk is CD Projekt Red, yeah. That's like all Poland. Yeah, 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 I keep forgetting that that Cyberpunk is made by CD Projekt Red. Yeah. But that sort of falls like what I was saying, like of it being Eastern Europe, because like for some reason Eastern European games are all like open world style games, like the kind that you would expect from almost, I wouldn't say like Ubisoft, because they usually are better than that, but it's that same sort of style of like open world exploration kind of thing. I don't know why that's like that there as well. Like, even some of their more experimental games, like, oh god, what's the name of that one where you're in a plague-ridden, like, small town in Russia or whatever, and you have to, I can't remember the name of that, I didn't play it. Para something. Like, that one's also kind of open world. Expedition 33, semi-open world. I don't actually think that it is. I think it's open world in the same way that like Final Fantasy VII is open world, which is to say, like Final Fantasy VII technically has an open world. Stalker, I haven't played that either, so I don't really know. I thought that was an open world game.
That's actually why I wanted to hang out today.
Yukari's strap. You know, just out of context, that just feels very strange. What does that even mean?
You know what it is, right? It's
Strap
the
for
strap
the
for
cell
my
phone, okay.
cell phone.
It's an open overworld but structured levels. Yeah, like that one to me I don't feel is usually really an open world game per se, but
I got it at the opening ceremony for the Moonlight Bridge. It's been my special keepsake for many years, because my dad bought it for me.
know what it means?
I used to talk to the little charm attached to it when I was alone in my room. You must think I'm nuts, huh? But it was pretty much the only thing that got me through. I can honestly say I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for that little guy. So I was just thinking maybe it could help you in some way too.
Can I really have this?
Yep, I'm doing better these days, so I'd like you to have it.
Alright, well if you ever have a rough day, you can have it back for the day. Alright, this is the same as all these, because they're always the same.
We
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, perfect. Can now fuse Sybil, the Earth Mother.
Oh, right. So, as we were saying, it'd be nice to go someplace a little further from home. We've talked about this before, remember? About going out to the mountains or something. Let's make good on that, okay? We could even go to Destinyland. I can't wait to make some more
The
fun
only time
memories
I've been to
together.
Disneyland for some inexplicable reason, it's been in Japan. And so I was going around in there, and like mascots would be talking, and they'd be talking in Japanese, and I'd have no idea what the hell's going on, like anywhere I went. Couldn't read the signage. Didn't understand what the price conversions were very well. And I don't really care much for Disney to begin with, so it was an experience at the very least. Can't say I hated it there, though.
Alright, well, now that that's decided, it's time to start planning. Give some thought to where you'd like to go, okay?
Good luck with the Persona grind. Look, I'm just gonna go fight Death once other people are done their exams, which is today. So I'm gonna go fight Death now, and then we're gonna call it, and I'm gonna start playing a little bit of Mechabellum for the rest of the day, because, I don't want to do more Tartarus, man. I just don't want to be in Tartarus anymore.
So,
Let's think about what Stray said about the fall being salvation. Didn't someone else... We already went through this.
Yes.
I wonder why that happened that way. Okay, well, whatever.
Hey,
Studying for the college entrance exams got me thinking about where my life's going. Also, I'll say this again, we've got all our futures ahead of us, and we're not going to let Nick stand in our way. I mean, whether we let Nyx stand in our way or not, Nyx is going to stand there. Nyx do be Nyxing. Yeah. Okay, off we go to go fight Death.
Yes.
Alright. I'm just going to check to make sure I've got the right personas available. I probably need Satan, is what I'm going to use here. That balloon, the playtime of the game. Yeah, that part is rough there. I have no idea what the state of the Mechabellum... I've been playing Mechabellum. I cannot figure out what the state of the meta is. Sort of forced to do them. I actually prefer that the social links do have some benefits there. The problem I had with the system before was, like, you had the choice of, like, getting a little bit stronger by doing something that would make you, like, a little bit more powerful in one way or another, or it would improve your, like, stats that you didn't have to use for anything. Or you could do your social links. The social links didn't really make you any more powerful. So I preferred it when the social links that did actually give you extra abilities. Like Persona 4, I actually prefer the most. It's late as fuck where you are. You should go to sleep. But like I prefer Persona 4's system where you get unique abilities, especially the ones where people will just dive in front of you, because that actually is a really useful thing for them to do. Yeah, I need to get Satan here. Okay. So it makes it so that when you're doing those sorts of things, like, it can feed back into your ability to, like, beat the game a little bit more easily. As opposed to, like,
Looking
in the original
How may
Persona
I
3,
assist
where it's
you?
like, you wouldn't really get any stronger. So you're only doing it for the sake of doing it, rather than it being something else.
Please take a look.
I
you
need
in
to
search of new
do
powers?
a Diet Fusion,
Will
probably.
you choose?
I could just throw together some random crap here. It really doesn't matter. There's not a lot of stuff that I've got available right now. Could just ignore everything. Yeah.
Take
I
all
didn't-
the time you
Well, you can
need
still
to
do that
consider.
technically. You can still ignore everything. I don't like that personally. I prefer that there is some incentive to actually do some of the stuff there. I'm usually pretty self-motivated though, so they don't really have to do much to tell me to get me to do stuff, but making the game faster?
Is this acceptable?
Yeah, it did make the game faster. I don't necessarily prefer it when it's faster, though. I take my time with these games regardless. You might have noticed I'm doing this very slowly and very much like I'm turning and talking to chat all the time.
What do you wish to inherit?
But, yeah, like, I can definitely appreciate, though, that you might want to get through some parts faster, especially if you're doing more than one playthrough. But usually I only do one playthrough of each game.
Well then.
So, like, I've done a playthrough of, like, Persona 3, Persona 3 Fez, Persona 3 Portable, and now Persona 3 Reload. But I've only played each of those once. I haven't done multiple playthroughs of each of them. So maybe if I was the sort of person who played each version, like, multiple times, I would care about it being faster. But since I only play each of them once, I don't really care about that much. So I can understand that point, though. I'm that which maintains the universe, that which eradicates evil. I invincibility incarnate shall guide thine heart. Great. It's the same thing, like, I've only played, like, Persona 4 once. I've only played Persona 4 Golden once. They were going to remake it, and I'm going to play that once. Persona 4 Portable I played once. I guess I don't need Akasha Arts. Alley Dance greatly reduces the hit rate of incoming attacks. That's interesting. I guess we'll get rid of Buvudyne since we kind of have access to that anyway. Salvation actually is really good. I can't get that quite yet, but... Okay, so let's go ahead and summon
Please
Satan.
take a look. This persona, yes? Is this acceptable? May it be
All right.
your inner strength. Very well.
Really don't imagine ever replaying an Atlas game. I tried with games like Devil Survivor where I really felt a lot of connection, but they're story games that are hard to replay. Yeah, for me that's kind of the thing as well. Like, I want to see what the difference is in the gameplay mechanics, in the story, and the different social links, because they change them a little bit between each of the games. Like, they're not identical. And I usually don't do 100% of all of the stuff in my runs anyway. But beyond that, I'm not the sort of person who wants to, like, go through multiple runs of the game just to see everything that has to offer. I need to increase my theurgy gauge. Alright, so we're going to go do that so that I have a fighting chance against death. I think there are a lot of people, though, that do, like, just replay a lot of... oh, might as well do this then, actually, if I'm recovering our theurgy gauge here. The other ones that I can see myself replaying, though, are ones that are not, like... Because isn't, like, Dark Souls Atlas? I know it's FromSoft, but, like, didn't... I guess it's not technically an Atlas game. They published it, I think.
I can send
231, 235.
very well.
Maybe they published Demon Souls, but they didn't publish the other ones. I can't remember anymore. Oops. I'm getting distracted while I'm doing this here. But yeah, the Souls games I can replay just because, like, they're mechanically the sort of thing where it's like, okay, I played as a wizard. It's completely different if you play as a swordsman, but... Yeah, really story-driven games I can see. Only one play once.
Oh, there's a treasure chest.
For them to make me really want to play an Atlas game, like, more than once than I do, is that they would have to add in better, like, multiple... Atlas West localizes the game. Okay. Yeah, I know that had something to do with it, but I couldn't remember what. Repel Strike, interesting. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was they had to do with that. I just knew their names were attached to it. So they didn't really have much to do with it at all.
What will you do?
But yeah, like, for me to really want to, like, replay a Persona-style game, I would love it if they had better or more, like, multiple ending sort of things, where your decisions as you go through the game made more difference, but
Isn't good on this
they
one.
don't do that,
We'll have to try something else.
generally speaking, so...
Go for an electric shock.
I think I accidentally made it so that her basic attacks do, electricity damage, which I don't really like. Atlas West is not the same as Atlas Japan that makes Persona games. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I kind of need money.
We did it.
And I should also switch my active Persona so I get a level on potentially saving here. So I definitely don't need more levels on Masakato or Scotty. Or I mean, I don't really need that Scotty. Okay.
Excellent. Looks like we can head out.
There. That was fast. Although, then again, do I want to play a 110-hour game just to get, like, a different ending?
That shadow looks pretty strong. We have the upper hand. I already scanned this one.
This will do the trick.
Persona.
Okay.
There's the time. Persona. Summoning. Athena, engage.
Is that not going to be a crit? Oh, yeah, no, there we go.
Well executed, Aegis.
Don't hold anything back. Ammunition locked. Weapon at range.
I wonder if they're gonna ever actually, like, make a game that fixes this, like, last month thing, because almost every game I've played that's been an Atlas game, like, the last section of it is so much slower when you have to get through the endless dungeon bullshit. Diamond Dust has been working pretty well for me here. Okay, we got that available now.
How about this?
Have radically different endings, so I can't imagine playing another 6 years. They actually don't. If you look more deeply into their ending system, like it's like you make a choice at one point. You say, do you want the shitty ending or do you want the actual ending? And that's basically it. Like that's not really a choice between multiple endings. It's basically just like, hey, do you want to like actually have the real ending, or do you want to? Oh, I shouldn't have taken that. Oh well, you know what? It's fine.
We did it.
I'm not planning on being here for very long.
Victory is ours. Now let's keep going.
But yeah, you just make a save before the big choice of do you want the crappy ending, or do you want the true ending, and then you check out both of them if you want to, or usually you don't care because the
They won't
non-canon
know it hit them.
ending is garbage. I don't think Mitsuru is capable of critting.
In this situation, I'm still setting up. It'll take a little more time.
Alright. Really? No crit there.
It
Okay.
is time. Guide us to victory.
It's different than Persona where you're supposed to last your essential religion. Shin Megami Tensei games are like that, yeah. Oh, I misread your thing. I thought you were saying the new one's like
Feel the power.
Persona 4 and 5, not Shin Megami Tensei. Yeah, those ones have radically different endings. Digital Devil Saga, like, as well, is a great example of having like multiple endings that worked out really well. I feel like. I guess we do this for the Zio.
Vishnu!
Evil, Neutral, or Holy Alliance. Yeah, and that requires like your choices from like as you go across the game.
You're on a roll. I'm still setting up. It'll take a little more time.
Okay, I can't switch here.
Not that.
Do we just try for critical here?
What to do?
I don't know.
Persona.
Let's just see if this guy's weak to this.
Didn't work.
Blocks that, no. Okay, lights. Lights. Do I even have light? I think Loki had that, but we got this. Okay. Typically, it wasn't so much like evil though. It was like chaos or order. I thought was a lot of their games. Oh, that guy's not dead. Shit. Well, goodbye homunculus potentially. Do I have a delay on Steam? I do have some delay, and it's not necessarily because like I've got some sort of thing set up where I want to have a lot of delay. It's mostly because of like poor connection latency sort of thing. It gets worse as well as I play. Technical limitations stream delay, not the other kind. I'm not trying to do spoiler-free sort of thing here or prevent people from stream sniping my Persona game for some reason.
It's over.
It's just set to whatever the minimum is. Which unfortunately is not 0 seconds. I think my delay is like something like a minute.
All right, let's be on our way.
Probably.
We found this.
Okay. Should be a person here, right? Where are they? Or I got distracted and I ran past the floor that had them, but you know what? I'm pretty sure that did not happen. There they are.
A missing.
Make nearly 0 chat latency streams was really cool. That would be pretty cool, but yeah, I definitely don't have the ability to do that. I'm not even 100% sure what settings I could change to make it so that there is less latency on that, but yeah, I've got it set to minimum. It's just not gonna let me do 0. I'm betting I could actually get it to 0. I just don't have the technical know-how or savvy to get it done. Okay, so we're gonna wait for death.
We're doing well. Let's keep up the pace.
So I just have to sit here mindlessly for like 3 minutes or whatever. I think they said it was 3 minutes 20 seconds last time.
Spring knitwear. I can't wait for winter to end.
I guess we could get Yukari's thing up here.
Shadow.
I mean, it could also be possible that like I do not actually have the ability to switch my settings to a way that would actually make it work. That's possible, but you know.
Kirito-senpai knocked my enemy down. Leave it to me.
Yukari, can you do it?
Now's the time.
I guess we'll do it like this.
This should end it.
I think one of the things that I've also liked more and more about the more modern Persona games is the characters are getting better. Like, even on the remakes, I think usually the characters are a little bit more... have a little bit better defined personalities.
Done. Let's do this.
Part of that comes from the thing that you were sort of saying you didn't like, which is that you have to spend so much more time with them, which is true. Like, that's the trade-off, is you do have to spend more time with them. But even in, like, other parts, they usually,
They won't know it hit them.
usually comes out pretty clear early. I wonder if that can freeze people.
Go for an electric shock.
Okay.
Knock one down.
We gotta try and get all criticals here.
Head on.
Personalities, I would disagree.
Okay.
The one thing that can happen is they'll sometimes, like, overemphasize some sort of, like, minor aspect of a person's personality in these. That's the only complaint I would have on the more modern takes on them. But, for the most part, I think that they're a lot more enjoyable as you sort of go on. Like, Persona 3, for me, has got the weakest characters out of the 3 mainline Persona games.
DRG, ready to deploy. Here I go.
And I really like the characters in Metaphor
Good job, everyone.
and their personalities as well. They're very different personalities in Metaphor as well, because they're not like high school students, but I think they do a good job of making it so that they do seem like mature adults in comparison. Or, you know, adults, not necessarily mature adults. And the original Persona games, like, I really didn't think there was much going on as far as personality went with the original characters, but I don't remember the characters at all from, like, Persona 1 or 2. I'll have to really see, though, like, what they do for the remake of Persona 4 once they get that out, because Persona 4 has my favorite characters out of, like, all the Persona games. I just like Scooby-Doo, and the fact that they made a Persona game that is just Scooby and the gang is great. Weakest cast and overall synergy? Yeah. Junpei used to be a very he's only complex if you're playing as the Femme MC in Persona 3 Portable. He doesn't get enough screen time to really get fleshed out in any of the other versions of it, which I think is a shame, because yeah, he does have some stuff going on with him. He's a more interesting character than he can let on in some of the other versions of it. But that's only in that version of it. You don't see that in any of the other versions. Like, it's not in the original, it's not in P3 Fez. It's only in that one. Which, you know, would be nice if they could add some of the nods to that, but they'd have to do something that I don't think... I kind of wish they had, in a certain sense there, made it so that your core party members had dedicated social links, even though you're playing a guy. Which would mean they'd have to get rid of a bunch of characters like Kenji or whatever, or what have you. But... So I don't think they would do that, because that would just deviate too much from the original Persona 3, but... it does leave some of, like, your main cast characters feeling pretty flimsy. Like, Akihiko feels really flimsy. Shinji for obvious reasons, but, you know. Okay, Death, come get me. I'm waiting for you. I don't actually think that they were really trying to think about Persona 3's cast as being, like, a synergistic group, because they're not really friends with each other in the same way that the cast of, like, 4 is. Or even 5. Like, 5, they come together and become friends, sort of. But, like, Persona 4, like, everyone's basically friends, like, when you meet them, except for, like, a few people who join later. And they slot in and become, like, close friends with individual characters in a way that they don't in Persona 3, really. Never played P3P? Felt that Junpei was complex in Fez? He felt like a comic relief character to me in the original. He didn't feel like he advanced at all from comic relief in the first one. Yeah, he feels pretty much exactly the same to me in this. I don't know. It's been a long time. Like I said, I only played the original once. Although I also played like the male lead in
not fight, but what do you want to do?
in like Persona 3 Portable and Fez. He didn't feel any different either. So.
You've got to get out of there.
All right, let's start off with this.
You're defenseless now. Checkmate.
Okay, all stats down. Suck it, Death. We don't care about you nor your bullshit. Okay, I have to debilitate him now. That's fine. We can do this. I don't know, they've kind of always had characters that are more or less, like, kind of more jokey, but I never felt like that made them lesser as characters otherwise. That was never what I felt from it, but... Especially with the answer arc, yeah.
Time to take
We literally
action.
thought the answer was friends made along the way. That's kind of more what they are, yeah. I guess we concentrate.
Go! Artemisia!
Damn it. Stop doing that. I don't think I have to worry about her having that on her, but I might want to fix that. Ryuji in P5 is also not that shallow, but he is definitely more of the comedic type of character. But I think in both of their cases that them being sort of like the kind of more funny character is kind of normal. I'm only defense down, so I might actually want to do Defense Sutra.
Let's use this.
I think you can actually accuse a lot of the characters in Persona 5 as being basically kind of comedic characters for the most part, but I don't think that actually mitigates them being more complicated characters as well. I never really liked Junpei that much, even in the original, though, to be honest.
I'll go with.
Okay, I have to debilitate this guy again, because he's just making me do that all the time.
Shall I move to strike?
Okay, we got Concentrate up so we can Diamond Dust. Okay, that critical was bullshit.
You've been knocked down!
Watch as I game over from that.
Our leader's in danger!
Oh god, okay.
Leader, your health is low. Be careful! Persona!
Well, he didn't boost his stats this time, so that's good.
This is my resolve. Persona!
This evil girlfriend forgot her name in her game thing.
Counterattack.
Chidori is most important actually in one of the remakes. She's not actually as important in that sort of sense until later, actually, in my opinion. Let's do this. I don't think he's gonna... I think he's immune to status effects, so this is probably not gonna work. But if I actually afflict him with something, that'd be great.
I'll
Okay.
hit them where it hurts. How about
Yeah, Strega is also probably just as important in this version. Maybe even... That was his Concentrate. That was amazing. Yeah, he's actually just as important in this one, I feel like. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna use Tranquility here.
Isis. Unleash your power. Now.
I actually think it's interesting, because there was a throwaway line in this that kind of implied that Chidori's still alive. I wonder if she actually is.
Summoning.
I would love it if she actually is, though. I know canonically she's not supposed to be, but... we need our stats to go up here. Yeah, he's gonna get his stats back in a bit, so let's do this. How come he's not AoEing the hell out of me like he did last time? I feel like I'm getting fleeced in a certain sense here.
Artemisia!
I love that he's non-controllable party members don't believe in party members. Yeah. No, it wasn't in the original. You don't have the choice to revive Chidori in the original until, or you don't have that until, I believe, Fez is when you can do that. I believe in the original you couldn't, though. I can ignore that problem, so we're not even going to bother. Let's just maybe hit him. No, let's do this.
I won't lose.
But yeah, they sort of imply actually that she was showing signs of life somehow in this one. They might have been referring to someone else though, and I might have just been paying attention incorrectly. But it seems like she might still be around. Okay, we'll do this. But yeah, it's definitely not confirmed that she's still around, unfortunately. I can Diamond Dust here, or I can Megiddo. Severe versus medium. Severe versus severe. This will technically be more efficient. Yeah, you're not given a revive choice though for Chidori. I don't think it's even a choice. I think you just have to unlock it by doing specific things prior to that. Although I don't really remember how to get there. It's probably the wrong composition to be using Tranquility with. That's fine.
Abnormality detected. Pull the trigger.
I could just shoot him this turn.
Just stay right. I can do
Not
this.
really great, but whatever. Let's do this. Secunda would also potentially been a good choice, but
what to do.
This will do the trick.
Yeah, this one like kind of feels like they remove a lot of the options of saving characters that you can potentially save in some of the other versions. Like, there's nothing, as far as I understand it, that lets you get Shinjiro alive, which is kind of a shame, but also, like, it makes sense, right?
Successfully avoided.
How many homunculi do I have?
Orders unclear. My head is spinning.
They're getting like 100% hit rates on that. That's bullshit.
What's next?
Okay, I'm gonna do this just because I want to gain more, and that counts as healing. Fez, oh yeah.
Speed's down. That'll affect your active
Compared to the modern
concentration.
remake, yeah, okay, I get what you mean then, yeah.
Athena, engage.
Because like the original one, there wasn't any way to save any of the people that you can save in some of the later games, which is unfortunate. I feel like that's the case in this one as well, which again, that's unfortunate, but they're trying to go for a thing, and I think that that's respectful enough.
Careful, Aegis.
I'll hit them where it
Speed's been
hurts.
reduced.
Okay, I'm gonna concentrate before I do the hit here. Ouch. I'm so glad I don't have any weaknesses right now. And he keeps using, like, Aggie against Mitsuru. That's great. That helps so much.
Energy. I think I can use it now.
Please be the stat boost or the concentrate. If it's the concentrate, I'll be slightly mad, but if it's the concentrate... Okay, it's the concentrate. So we wasted Mitsuru's turn, but...
I can do this. Persona, engage.
Okay, this is way easier than my last attempt fighting death, because I'm not in that constant struggle circle of trying to get something done, but... Oh, that's gonna reset. Let's do this again. Okay, we're doing this one, though. Is Massive better than Severe? Massive is actually better than Severe. I guess we are doing... Okay, I should have done something different. Well, crap. I screwed up. Either way. But difficulty, this is merciless.
You can't hide from me.
I always play all these games on the hardest difficulty. I don't find that the difficulty in Persona games is all that hard.
Were you trying to hit me?
So I always feel like I have to go for like the hardest difficulties. People tell me it's not necessarily as hard as like some of the easier difficulties though, which is ironic, but...
What next? Persona.
Okay, so that almost killed me. That almost one-shot me. I'm glad that I'm reducing his stats, and I'm glad that I've got a boost to my stats. Do we try and off him here? This will be concentrated, so we'll have more. His defense is down, so...
Show no mercy. One last strike.
Ooh, okay.
Nicely done, Aegis.
This is lower than Merciless, like, why isn't Reaper one-shotting you? I've got a setup here that I specifically customized to make sure he can't one-shot me. And when you're focusing on, like, buffs, debuffs, like, that's actually super powerful in these games. It makes a huge difference.
Persona.
I've always been a strong advocate for, like, this is why I have to have that control, because I use these very, like, specific buffs, debuffs to make sure that I've always got the right ones. Because if you don't sort of, like, use your buffs, debuffs correctly, you can get one-shot by this guy really easily. I also have, like, the items that make it so that he can't hit any of our weaknesses, because our comp has 0 weaknesses right now. And ignore status effects.
Orders unclear. My head
But again,
is
this was like
spinning.
what I went into this for here. Okay, so this should be a turn where I think I can finish him off here.
Over here. Watch this.
Don't talk about debuffing to null hit a SNT guy, that's the default. Yeah, it is. But if you can't control the debuffs and buffs, like they just cast random buffs or debuffs, it's like, it doesn't help.
Shall we move on?
Defeat the Reaper.
Shadows
Okay.
detected.
I guess we're gonna go for the extra experience points. This setup, yeah. Yeah, we're also pretty high level right now. I'm over leveled in my opinion. Okay, what do I want to swap here? I don't really feel like I need my Aegon. So we'll take Black Viper instead. Okay, we can leave now. I guess I actually have to go back the other way, but like that was all I really needed to accomplish there. If he didn't drop the bloody button, I'm gonna be very mad because that's the only reason I did that.
Let's be off then.
But yeah, being able to like use good buffs, like having Aegis using
Many shadows.
Rakakaja, Matarakaja, like helps a ton. Being able to use Debilitate on something like helps a ton. As long as you can do that sort of stuff, like you can't really one-shot you that easily. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna go up until I can leave. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother doing that. So I'm gonna get out of here, I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna play some Mechabellum. It's actually exactly the halfway point too, so that's actually really, really good.
Living together, traveling, and spending time together. I've made some fine memories this past year.
Fair enough. Okay. The one problem I have with like the equipment I've given Mitsuru is like she's got super high chance to freeze enemies. Everything that I actually am bothered by in terms of like fighting is going to be immune to that. Buff names in American, I can't understand them, but it's fine.
Formidable foe.
Wait, what are they in Japanese? Is it just my accent is bad? Because I can understand that, but are they... I didn't know those names were actually different in Japan.
Stairs.
Honestly, I can barely remember the explicit like translations of any of these stupid buffs either. It's like, you know, speed buff, strength buff, defense buff. But alright. Let's go see if we can... Yep. Okay, this should be literally every quest. I don't normally 100% this because I don't care, but, you know. Which means you've managed to defeat the Reaper? That's quite a feat. You're approaching the level of strength I hoped you'd achieve. It's not different, just your accent is hard? Yeah. I don't actually know what the correct pronunciation of any of those things is, so I'm just going to say it the way I say it and hope that it's probably close because they're all made up words anyway. Yeah, I've waited for so very long in this room where time has no meaning. Maybe the one to help me answer the question that has confounded me. Please excuse me, that completes this request. I mean, like you saying Magellan? Yeah, I can't pronounce that. I don't know what those words are. That's just a jumble of, like, different letters that, you know, means maybe something. I don't know. Take out the ultimate adversary. What the hell does that mean? Thus you have arranged a battle with an opponent befitting your caliber, the ultimate adversary, so to speak. I believe you're familiar with the depths, correct? As its end lies in the deepest point of Tartarus. Please head there to face the challenge, alone.
By all means.
What do you mean? What do you mean, alone? What is this nonsense? Alright, let's save. I'm not going to do that today. I thought I was done all those, but apparently not. We're going to play some Mechabellum. Alright. I sort of mentioned this on Monday when I was playing Mechabellum, but I'm behind on this. Like, the meta hasn't changed as much as it could have because there's no new unit or anything like that. But, yeah, I really don't know exactly what I'm doing here. Where did I put this? There it is, Mechabellum. Wait, why is this, it's probably because the other game's loading. I probably shouldn't have done this way. Can I... Okay, I know what I have to do. Okay, we hit that. We'll save here. And then... I'm actually wondering, like, what language the spell names from Atlas games comes from, because they're consistent, and I think that they probably did pull them from some mythology. You're confused that there's more stuff after the Reaper on P3 Reload? Did Reaper just end the game? Yeah, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen there. I didn't think there was going to be another one behind that, but apparently there is. So, oh well. Anyway, yeah, I need to figure out, like, which of my upgrades I can actually afford. Maybe I can afford all of them. I didn't check some of the new upgrades in my last run-through of this. Kinetic Charge, I saw some people using this, and it seemed like they could actually make it work, but it still feels like it's not my favorite unit. Counterfire still feels weird to me. Plus 50% hit points on that's actually surprisingly good, though. I wonder if you could do a build where these guys are quite tanky and that would be effective, but they're Latin? Is that actually Latin? Okay. Did Reaper on OG and that was as far as Elizabeth went? Yeah, that's probably right. To be honest, like, I've heard various different pronunciations of a lot of different Latin words from people who are supposedly, like, experts of that, so I would never trust myself to be able to pronounce Latin correctly regardless. My assumption is it's, like, a dead language to a certain extent that's survived by, like, Italian, so, like, you could try to just learn Italian and figure out how they would pronounce it and then get it wrong, because that's probably not the correct way to actually pronounce ancient Roman. Same as how, like, if I speak in English right now, that's not how you pronounce Old English. But, you know... Also, if you speak modern German, it's also not how you speak Old English, so, you know, there's no real way to get it right. I feel like the UI is lying to me. I feel like when it says attack interval increases by 0.5 seconds, they're saying that it's a decrease in attack speed. Let's see if I can find something where I definitively know that's the case. Mechanical Rage reduces attack interval. Okay, so no, the increase to attack interval does mean they fire slower. Why would you buy that? Because this makes it go from being an air unit, which is a really good advantage. You pay a bunch of points, so that it becomes a ground unit. It loses its air attack. And its attack range only increases by 50. That's like 1 higher. That's 10 higher than range enhancement. Like, everything about this is terrible except for the fact that you get 50 extra range. There's got to be something behind that, but I don't know what it would be. This just seems so weird. Okay, well... I can't afford to get it anyway, so I won't be able to figure that out for a little bit. Let's just pop in here. Yeah, I kind of wish there was some way to cheese death like there is in Persona 5, just because, like, that's a really fast way to level in Persona 5, although I never really take advantage of that. It just is, like, anything that makes it so you can level faster is appreciated, because I don't like leveling. Something that I find deplorable. It's like, what do you mean I have to spend another 10 hours suffering in Tartarus just to get levels? This is bullshit. Alright. Cool. Okay. I don't love any of these options. I'm going to try training. Maybe try for like some carry marksman in this one. Yeah, we're going to need some chaff here. I don't think we're winning first round, given the situation here. But that's okay. This area's got some interesting stuff going on for it already. I think what we might do is we go leftish. And then try and fight our way through this a little bit. It's the whole point why I dislike reloading like the OG. You didn't need to grind at all. Grinding was essentially impossible. No, you could definitely grind in the original. I definitely remember being able to do that. It wasn't even that bad doing that. My opponent's actually probably more likely to send a lot through this side here, but what we're going to do is pop there. The thing about it was, like, it wasn't necessary, but it's still not necessary. Like, in this one, you don't really have to. Well, Persona 4 you kind of did, I feel like, but... I'm going to go, like... I'm going to do a weighted side here. I'm going to not bring anything over here. Let's just fully weight this end here. Grinding Junpei and reload game crazy with crits. Yeah, crits could actually be a viable thing here. I never play that way because I don't really respect physical type builds, but that's definitely something I probably could have done. we are winning this side, which is what I wanted to. I should have pulled back even further with our marksman on this side, but that's kind of fine. Proof War Factory. I never actually get along well with crit builds, because even with all the crit bonuses, I never get them. So that's always been like a disincentive sort of thing for me to actually ever go that route. So even though I probably could, I never do. We'll grab this. Grab you guys. I would love to get range enhancement, but I'm not getting that here. You know, something about like RNG-based sort of choices that never mesh well with me. I'm gonna put this guy way back here. And then we'll go ahead and drop this over here. And then we'll go ahead and grab, I feel like, this one. Ooh, okay. No idea. You should go to sleep. Yeah. Oh no, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not gonna pop off, and I don't really mind that. I just do my own thing, and I'm pretty chill about it. But yeah, you definitely have fun going to sleep. Have fun at work. Yeah, game is Mechabellum, but yeah, no, it's a good game. I like it. All right, we're gonna go for wasps here. Could also get them the boost there. For now, though, let's definitely get the range increase on these guys. And then we'll go for, I feel like, one of them and one of them. Ooh, actually. I want to do this. So I have to... Don't undersell? Well, you know. That would be kind of interesting, but I'm honestly here to have fun, and I am having fun, so I couldn't really ask for any more. But yeah, no, if that does happen, that does happen. That would be kind of cool. Thanks for saying that, though. Still a business? This is not a business. I do have the things on because, like, YouTube tells me to. They're like, hey, you should have ads. I'm like, yeah, okay, YouTube, I'll do what you tell me. Because I am a coward and will just do what people tell me to do, I guess. Apparently, I don't know. But yeah, this is not a business. This is just me messing around. If I did have to treat this like a business, I probably wouldn't do it because I would be having less fun. Alright, we are getting rolled here. That's fine. I need to figure out a way to make my units actually slower. That would be kind of ideal, ironically enough. So we need to get our Stormcallers here. Then we're also going to need range on that, but yeah, this is fine. I'm going to have to drop more chaff in the next couple of rounds here. He dropped a nuke. That is so expensive. Yeah, so we'll be ahead on that for the next couple of rounds, but he might just knock me out before I get a chance to do anything about this. So like he's definitely going for like that sort of wants to get the like big kill before I can possibly actually recover, which he might opt that. Like that's very possible with it. Being genuine feels long forgotten on the internet. Is this PvP? This is PvP. I am getting my butt kicked by a real person here. Yeah, which you know is fine. Yeah, I think he was only aiming for the knockout on that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. I would love to get a giant that can actually make use of that. We might as well, actually. Okay, I'm gonna drop this over here. I'm gonna find out the worm's not allowed to equip the bubble shield. Oh, no, he can't. Okay. And we'll go ahead and pop that there. That's gonna cause some interesting problems for my opponent, and like I said, we need to drop chaff. Yeah, quite a few of the games I play are actually PvP games, because I quite like playing competitive games, but I'm gonna have to drop a couple things this turn just so I can live. Yeah, he's going for the knockout kill here. He went for that. That's interesting. These guys, right? Yep. Okay, I think we got this round. We're going to lose on the right, but we kind of knew we were going to. Feels like a W3 custom map. What it kind of is based off of is that sort of like auto battler, like produce units game mode from StarCraft. So that's not far off of what they're sort of inspired by, yeah. It's a lot of fun. I do like it. But I pop into it and pop out of it like all the time. I don't really stick with this game. I'm kind of going like sort of like multi-threat is what we're doing here, trying to make it so that my opponent has got too many different things that they have to deal with to actually be able to like deal with all of it. And I feel like that's kind of working here. But we could definitely like lose at any given moment here. It's kind of, we're kind of in a spot here. And if he gets that nuke available again, we're in a lot of trouble. I kind of want to get fire, but that's going to have to wait till next turn. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and do this. Get another unit. We'll drop crawlers. I'm actually going to bring you across to this side. No shame, it's a fun game style that never dies, even 30 years on. Yeah, no, like, I like those game modes originally. Okay. Well, they went through that worm real fast. But they are getting destroyed by these guys, so... Death zone right in there. Yeah, he's gonna win off that. Well, that's fine. I kind of forgot to do a thing, though, that's pretty important here. Well, not important. I actually think it's bad. But the reason I went for that is I want to try out the new unit modifications on the Fire Badger, and I did not actually equip them. So, basically, I'm an idiot, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Scorching Charge and Counterfire are the new abilities here. You should go to sleep, though. You should go to sleep. Like, I'm having fun here, but you should get ready for work by going to sleep. That would be probably a good idea there. Right, so we could go like a Counterfire and then Field Maintenance type of build here. And the amount of extra hit points that this thing would end up with is actually really, really high. Plus the fact that it'd be healing that whole time, and then have access to like the counterfire range would be pretty good. So I think, maybe try that. Again, I don't necessarily think that that's actually that good, but work can wait. Work can wait for 7 hours. Can sleep wait is the big question, Like, if you get there and you're dying of exhaustion, that would be not something I'm going to be willing to take accountability for, I've definitely had those days where it's like I got to work after only having like 5 hours of sleep or whatever, and they're not good days. Those are not good times. All right, we're up against Fenris, who is a very low MMR, because I am on a lose streak, but I have been trying out new units and different things with that, so that's not really unexpected as far as that goes. So we're going to actually try and use our flame tanks as tanks if we get them this time. I might not, but... Oh, me? I'm like 40 almost, but that's roughly the number. I'm not going to give you the exact one, but work isn't that serious in Europe. That's fair. Okay, well, But yeah, I'm actually quite old. If I come into work wasted, it's not that deep. Well, that's fair. Yeah, so I'm kind of old. I'm not like super old or anything like that, but I'm not young or anything like that, or what have you. I feel like we don't have any access to what we had there, so I'm gonna actually go with the elite spec here. Being able to start with higher level versions of those tanks is gonna be quite good if we can get that. And my opponent has got stuff that my stuff is no good versus, so we're just gonna get 2 of these fellows here. Early 30s. I'm actually fairly young looking and energetic for someone my age, though, so I'm aging pretty well. So, take that for what that is. Not that I'm bragging about that or anything like that. That just comes from having a bit of arrested development or whatever. I'm just kidding, I don't have that. Maybe I do. Who knows? Alright. I feel like everyone these days has a little bit of arrested development. Just a tiny bit, as a treat. Well, that is me getting flanked. Let's see if we can get through this okay. Should be fine on this side pretty consistently, but I won't pull through this like super fast or anything like that with what I have. This stuff is going to be annoying, but not that deadly. And if I can lock onto these guys with my the right stuff, I'll kill them really fast, but I feel like I may have screwed up my positioning slightly. Yeah. Not ideal. So we will be losing this round, and I'll probably actually be behind on next round, too. What the? Oh, there we go. Even in spite of, like, my age being what it is, I do play games that are, like, a little bit older than I am as well, so that's also a thing to consider. Kind of like how I listen to music and movies that are sometimes older than I am. It's not, like, a consistent thing, and it's not a preference. It's just, sometimes there's a good movie that came out before I was born, so I watch it. Alright, so we'll unlock the Fire Badgers. I still don't think that's going to be a great option for me here. I am going to go ahead and get another crawler unit, and I might just get 2. I think that 2 of these is going to be our best bet. We're just going to pop one back there, and we're going to pop one back, way back here. And then we're going to give ourselves a little bit more damage so we use this faster. Good combo being an old person with a young-sounding voice. Try and convince people I'm one of those insufferable youngsters that says, it's like, oh yeah, I've got experience beyond my years or whatever the hell. Could be fun, but I feel like people would catch on pretty quickly that I'm actually just old. Alright, we're gonna have a much easier time now with what we've got going on here. Those guys way the hell back there is interesting. Those things are gonna, like, wreck this thing, but I wonder what the timing on that's gonna be. No, it was perfect for me. Okay. It's always so hard for me to tell, like, what exactly is going on in this game in terms of what's changed about the meta. Just because there's, like, so many changes that happen in terms of how people play it, but I also don't really have the ability to, like, know what the top level players are doing, because I'm not up there right now, because I take that long break, which means that I don't really know what other people are doing at the higher levels. It's just, like, me derping around with other people that are just as bad as I am. Okay. I can't quite afford to get what I really want here, which is I want to get the extended range enhancement, and I want to use that on this side here, but what we're probably going to end up having to do instead here, we'll grab one of these, because I still need to put down 2 units. I can't really afford to just put down 1. We put down that. We put down this, because that'll survive some of those things. And then we've got to potentially get a giant on the field, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. Instead, what we're going to do is just spend a bit on one of these missiles, and we'll just drop this, I think, over here. He's gone for 2 shield bubbles, and I've placed, like, perfectly to not actually have to deal with that with our missile that we're dropping here, which is great. He pushed that forward, I feel like, to try and, like, definitely get that missile drop that I was putting down there. He still might be able to block me with this much shield, though. He will lose 200 bucks, though. Like, that much is certain. Oh, no, he's only going to lose 100. He's not going to lose that second shield. Alright. Well, that worked well. He spent a lot of money, and it didn't pay off for him. Okay, I'm going to go for the advanced shield gen. Having those be tougher is going to be good. I need to unlock one of these so I can use that shield that we've got here. I'm not sure which of these would be best to actually take, though. Probably, I don't even know if you can equip this on Overlord. Is that ground only? I think that might be ground only. Do melting points. We're just going to unlock it, though. We're not going to actually use it. We'll take these guys, and we're going to give them the range enhancement. And that means that that's all we can do, so I can't get the upgrades that we want, necessarily. But with that extra range, we'll be in a pretty good spot, I feel like. He's gone for extra range on everything as well, so not really that surprising. He's dropping another shield bubble. He's spending a lot of money on these sort of things there. He's also got, like, the fire and the orbital bombardment. He's really just spending it down on that kind of stuff instead of units. I need to push forward with, like, more chaff, because he's got that extended range on those guys, and I need to be able to deal with that properly. He's also got a bunch of chaff that I need to start dealing with a little bit better, because my chaff clear is not great. You don't feel like making streaming your existence, having an audience would make it more enjoyable. That is true, and I do want people to, like, watch my stuff and be happy, like, watching my stuff, so, you know, that is a good point. It is more fun when there's some people in chat, but, you know. Okay, well, I feel like, yeah, we're fine, okay. There's certain algorithmic things that I just do not understand. It is kind of one of the big sticking points to me not being able to easily do that. Oh, hey, it's a free sandworm. That sucks. Well. I'm actually going to take the 2 wraiths. 2 wraiths is actually a really, really nice thing to be able to have here. Although, admittedly, it's not great with the sort of situation that we're in here. I need more of this stuff really, really badly. Upgrade you 2. Upgrade you 2. Wouldn't mind upgrading them as well. Then we'll drop you guys over here. Let's drop you actually like right here maybe. Something like this ought to do. The thing is, I'm really concerned that he's going to start dropping stuff on my head here because, like, he absolutely should. So we're going to estimate there. He's just as likely to drop it here, but, like... What if I did something over here, actually? Alright, we'll do that. Yeah, you drop the bombardment on this side. Sandworm over here. Still landing those missiles. Content creation is business, which is mostly just pleasing the algorithm. Yeah. Well, the thing for me is, like, I don't understand the algorithm. Like, they keep making weird changes to it. They make choices to it that I don't know what they are. And, you know, it's like it's what they need to do to, like, avoid certain things that I think they do want to avoid. But, oh, that sucked. Being in a position where I can learn that stuff, you know, would take me a long time before I can figure out what they're doing. Alright, so he blew a lot into that win there. So that doesn't put me really technically behind. I'm gonna get this. Like, we're still fine after that loss. I actually kind of want a different thing here, but Fortress would not be great. I think we go Vulcans. I was gonna do those stupid other tanks, but I think we go Vulcans here. And then we put that there. We drop this on top of them. And then we just go for the crawlers. I think we do another one of these guys, and we position him sort of like this. The thing is, they're going to drop another bomb on me here, but there's nothing I can really do about that. This one's going to be a firebomb. And I feel like they drop it, like, across here. Where is he dropping it? Is he not going to use it? He might not use it. Okay, well. He's got way better, like, Collins and stuff like that, but I should be using my advanced shields more often. Because he doesn't have advanced shields like me. Oh no, he dropped it this side. That's actually really good for us. Like, it's still going to destroy a lot of my stuff, but, like, not really, kinda. And we got through that quite well. Alright, that's fine. The audience doesn't have anybody else to talk to than you? I guess that can be true. I always feel like, you know, I always have, you stream yourself? Well, I think that part of it is, like, you shouldn't be afraid to try and stream in your own language, you know? I feel like that's, you know, perfectly acceptable, because there's people there, you know, they're looking for that content that's not there. It is, but, like, you know, there's always more that there could be. Like, obviously, I don't spend a lot of time in like, YouTube and other languages because, like, I can't speak them, but I feel like you could definitely, make some people happy if they could get to a streamer that was speaking their language. Let's see here. Although, you know, if you did want to do it so that you're getting like that big audience, you do kind of need to pick one of the languages that's going to hit like a big audience. So yeah, I can understand that as well. Okay, we're going to do it like that. I'm going to go ahead and get more of these, I feel like. And then that. Okay. They get $15 a month and have 1 million subs? Really? That's brutal. Is it a place where they wouldn't realistically, like, let you do Patreon sort of stuff, though, as well? Like, because I know that some people will mostly get more of their income from, like, Patreon than ads. Yeah, I need to get an elite upgrade on my snipers. Does he have elites? He does have elites. YouTube doesn't tolerate non-English content, since you can't advertise crypto scams to them. You absolutely can. You definitely can advertise crypto scams to them if you want to. But yeah, I can definitely see that being a thing, yeah. Yeah, I need to get elite marksman on my guys here. Match what they're doing with theirs. I feel like we get 2 more of these guys. Just keep going with that. And I would like to get something boosting these guys with siege mode. Because that's what would get us some really interesting stuff there. I think we go for a boost to this guy. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that you can't get a sort of fair pay on that. That's kind of not surprising to me, I guess, now that I think about it, but it kind of sucks. Opponent's got elite rhino. Does he drop any rhinos? All content creators in my country, the Baltics, and Europe do it as a hobby. The biggest one is being simply shitty wage job earns a lot more than sponsor pay combined with YouTube. Well, I was thinking, like, I wonder if you could get through, like, Patreon or something like that, because that's just based on donos. There's some, like, bad parts about doing donation-based income, because, like, it's very inconsistent, but, you know, I know that some people can make, well, I don't actually know the numbers at all. Also, you could just advertise casinos. I wouldn't judge you. Definitely it's a bad idea, but, you know. Okay. Elite seems to be making a pretty big difference in our damage output here. So I'm pretty happy about that. I think I know what I need here, though, for our next stuff, which is, I think we need to start putting down, that including Patreon. Wow, okay. Why Dotas? Yeah, I can imagine a Dota streamer would be able to make quite a bit there compared to, like, a lot of other ones, but yeah, it's kind of sad that they're not, you know, making a living off of it. Or at least not much of a living, I guess. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I kind of want a siege mode here, but kind of don't actually. What I wanted to get here is Fangs with the shield bonus, so we're gonna do that. We can actually get more of them. I can actually do quite a few things with shield bonuses here. So this is kind of a pivot at this point more than anything. Okay, and we can also get some more upgrades on stuff here. What do I want upgraded more? These guys would make sense. These guys would actually also make sense. Subterranean would be good. Loose formation. Against these guys, loose formation probably. And then I think we just drop a whole bunch of missiles. I think we try to go for like a kind of kill here. Essentially, content creation ends up being discouraged. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I don't really know, like, that I would feel discouraged if I was there personally, because, like, for me, it is entirely just up to doing it for the fun, but... yeah. I can definitely see it being, like, really rough for people who want to make it a living. Then on the other hand, though, like, the quality of the content creators in North America, because it's so heavily, like, economically incentivized, is really bad, because there's a lot of people who are just clearly making slop for the algorithm to get as much money as they can. Alright, so this is where we actually do go for a nuke. I hate these things, but this is clearly when we want it. Our opponent's probably also going to nuke us, but... say Levi. Like, I cannot imagine our opponent in Europe art is funded and respected. Yeah, I feel like someone needs to start making, like, real art on YouTube, I guess, is what you would have to do. Because, like, that was what I was saying the problem here is. It's, like, it's not viewed as art here. It's viewed as, like, drama slop channels that is what makes money, or it feels like. Oops. Like, even in the gaming sphere, like, you don't get much, as far as I understand it, from, like, actually just playing games or appreciating games or whatever. Like, those people are usually kind of smaller channels that have a harder time getting, like, a whole bunch of sponsors or what have you. It's usually the channels that are, like, doing just basic garbage that seem to get all the views or whatever, which is kind of a shame. I feel like that's probably, like, an unfair characterization, but I also feel very much that's true. I'm gonna go all out here. %. My opponent has dropped, like, everything on me this turn. They've got so much they can drop on me. Not sure where that EMP came from on that side. Okay, we're gonna win this round, but we're not gonna win it by a ton. The slopification in the internet is 100% real. It is, yeah, no. But, like, a lot of people I feel like in North American YouTube are just doing it because they can make a quick buck by, like, covering something that's been covered on, like, 9 million other channels. Which, I guess if that's what gets them paid, like, sure, okay, good enough, I guess, or whatever, but, like, it does make for really shitty content. I'm glad at least that they started cracking down on some of the AI channels, though. That helps, at least. Helps a little bit. Okay, how do I try to push this stalemate here? Walking shields? I'm gonna do one of these. I'm gonna give these guys barriers, and I'm gonna get another one of these guys. Alright. Then we'll drop this here. He's got a ton of stuff he can drop on me again this turn. Like, he has so many activatables. Oh, he's gone for an Abyss. That's an interesting choice given the circumstances. He's got a vertical sweep one with extra range. There's a bunch of our shields there. Might need another set of scorpions at some point, but... This thing's starting to get hit, but it's going to tank for a lot of their snipers for a long time. Do we have higher levels than their sniper? We do. Surprised I didn't get the range on that, though. Alright. Advanced targeting system, I feel like? No, we'll take advanced. Take that. Extra damage on all of these guys. Snipers are getting completely amazing here. I need to do chaff clear better and faster. We're trying to win on this round, but we're trying to win on every round is what it's been, so that's interesting. Always fun when that's the case. That's fine. I could drop something back here, but I don't really feel like that makes a ton of sense for us. Go ahead and promote this. We want to keep these guys fairly spread out. We don't want them all concentrated together, so I'm going to put this one over here, I feel like. I'm not seeing as many drop-ins that you can put on our heads this turn, so I'm okay with doing a little bit like this. I wish there was a way to make it so I could slow down. Well, there is actually a way to slow down my own units. I just don't do it. We'll do this. Okay. Depending on beer or alcohol, no pretext attached. I'm a drinker. I drink. I don't think that it's like one of those ones where you can easily say that it comes down to like self-control. Though I think that there do need to be like things in place that make it so that you drink responsibly, but people don't drink responsibly, so you have to make sure that there's stuff in place to force that. But yeah, I like drinking. I'm a big fan of Scotch primarily. I like Scotch, I like absinthe, Those are sort of my go-tos. Okay, our opponent here is getting absolutely hammered, but... Do I win? I do win. Is it against TOS? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to talk about alcohol. But yeah, I like alcohol. I think there's like a tendency for like people to be like, alcohol is good, so therefore you should be able to like drink as much as you want and drive. But then there's also like people who are like, alcohol killed my uncle, so it's always bad at forever, and it's like, okay, I do feel like there are lots of people with a more central take, and I kind of fit myself in there, where it's like, alcohol is fine, but you need to be careful with it. But yeah, that's kind of what my thoughts on it. Like, alcohol is fine, but you have to be careful with it, is what I would say. I'm going to swap some of these. I don't want this to have armor enhancement. I'm going to have this with the shockwave. I don't know. We'll try this. Okay. Can I afford I can afford one more upgrade. I don't know what I want to get, though. Steel ball one? Nope, we already got that. Yeah, that's also one of the reasons why I like the drinks that I like, is because like they're usually sort of like stuff that you don't drink a ton of and you don't drink it to get drunk. It's a little bit more expensive. Not a single person that actually drove drunk actually believes in drunk driving. It's all modern grifting. There are enough videos of people from back in the like really old-timey era where they're just like, I don't see what's wrong with having a couple of cognac now and then between driving, it seems like it's the perfectly reasonable thing to do. But then they're driving a car that only goes like 20 kilometers an hour, but it's still bad. You know, they're still running over like street urchins in the roads there. But I don't think that they considered those people, so they thought that was perfectly fine. But yeah, like people did definitely used to think that it was appropriate to be able to drink and drive, and that was a travesty that that was being taken away from them. But I feel like nowadays, yeah, you're right. A lot less people think that's socially appropriate or you know legally appropriate or anything else like that. But yeah, no, there are definitely like people who think that alcohol, because it's good, is just sort of like you should be allowed to drink however you want. It's your own business or whatever, you know, that kind of opinion. I don't believe that. I think that, you know, if you're an alcoholic, you should probably get that fixed in some way or another. But I also don't believe in like telling people that they're not allowed to drink. That's weird to me. Apparently, it's supposed to be bad for your health no matter how much or how little you drink, though, but this is also the same administration that tells you that, like, an all-meat diet is good for you, so I don't know. I kind of feel like that's probably going to be one of those, going to wait till there's a different group of people at the World Health Organization / you know, the American Medical Association before I have any opinion on that one. They're like, any salted meat whatsoever will immediately kill you. It's like, okay, well, I don't think that's true on account of I have eaten meat and have not instantly died, so. Alright, what do we got here? Got Fang and we got Sabretooth, whereas we got Tank and we got these guys. This is not a good matchup for us. Gonna have to go Marksman for now. Time when people encourage smoking weed. There are still some people doing that, if I'm totally real with you. I think that's got the same sort of like vibes to it as people being like, oh yeah, you should smoke tobacco 3 times a day, it will clear your lungs. That kind of thing. It's like I mentioned earlier that I'm old. I'm not actually old enough to have remembered that time. I just know that that was a thing that people did or said during whatever time period that was. I can't remember. But yeah, it has all the sort of like feeling of that sort of thing where they're just saying that because it'll make it sell. I did legitimately hear someone saying that smoking weed was good for your lungs, and I'm like, I feel very strongly like this is a whole sort of like going back to when they said tobacco was good for your lungs. Which, you know, oh well, whatever, you know. Okay, this is wild. We have got so much AoE clear that, like, the fact they've gone for almost all these guys is kind of interesting to me. Especially because Sabretooths don't actually do super well into, like, hounds anyway. They do super well into, like, my snipers, but, you know. I do feel like their flank, though, is going to work out for them. It's just their composition is wild, dude. Yeah, I'm not, like, hyper against marijuana or anything like that. I don't smoke it myself at all, but, like, I don't think that it's... I think that it's not as good as people are saying, but I also don't think it's the end of the world if there's people who smoke marijuana. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, if they're doing that, I guess that's, you know, whatever the hell. I'm not going to complain about it, but I'm also not going to say that's good. Okay, what if I did this? I think that we go something like this, maybe. And then we can go ahead and do a bonus to them. What has this guy got? There's an aura going on with these blue things, and I don't know what that means. that this is the upgraded tank is actually really detrimental for me, but... Okay. Both smoked a lot and drank a lot, and I've done a lot worse things, and I think we know that was very similar. Both toxic, but not that serious. Yeah, they're kind of in that sort of category. Like, they're technically bad, but like, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the end of the world or anything like that. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna actually go for the Scorpion here, because I do feel like my opponent could try to counter me if I go for the other option. We are gonna go ahead and get this extra range, though. And then we'll go ahead and get 2 of these. My opponent is very likely, I feel like, going to also pick Scorpion here. We're gonna go like this. And then we're also gonna go ahead and grab extra damage. Oh, he went for the Stormcallers, okay. Ah, and Hackers, okay. I should have gone for those Stormcallers. Okay, I'm probably going to go ahead and grab some more Scorpions here. I definitely need the extra range on them, but I've already got that, so I don't know what I can do about that at this point. Laser sights? That might be actually good here. That kind of fixes the problem I was talking about. Alright. So we need to just get this thing to the point where they can hit them. Just going to laser sight that. I also need to have something as a distraction for those guys, so we're just going to go ahead and pop something in front of them. Do something like that. They'll sort of instantly pop those guys. Okay, let's do this. And then we'll pop another promotion on a unit that we're not going to actually be able to use, but we'll have it, so that'll make it so that we're better off later. Okay, so that wiped out 2 of them, and I thought it was going to get more. I thought we were going to get at least 3, but apparently not. Am I gonna actually have to do counter to this stuff? Because I don't remember actually how to fight these things. I know air. Yeah, you should go to sleep. You should get ready. You should go to sleep. That is perfectly reasonable. You have a great time. I'll talk to you if you come back. I'll always be here Monday, Wednesday. All right. Let's upgrade these 2. Promote you. Both of these. We're going to want more crawlers. Just keep throwing that into this. I probably also do need to start throwing more into our these guys, but what we can do actually is mass recruitment, get another one. Have this over like here. And that ought to be fine. Alright. Well, I don't think I've got any anti-air, so I can't do shit about that, but you know what? That's fine. Fortunately, these things are still made entirely out of glass. So we are cutting through them like butter, but if they get the shields up, that would possibly be a bad thing for us. Free Vulcan, though. Free Vulcan is good. Okay, what do we think we're going to be needing here? What are we doing? Something like this is okay. I want to actually get a unit available to us that's got access to shields. Because I definitely think that that would actually be good for us. We're going to go ahead and add an extra unit here. We're going to grab more crawlers. We got here, and what we're going for is just very straightforward. Let's just hit them with stuff until they drop dead, but... yeah, there we go. That's why I was worried about them getting. Alright, we got through those guys in just as many hits, though, so... I may want to get, acid. And I definitely am thinking about getting some air. Okay. The other thing I could be doing here is getting Fangs. Fangs would probably actually be very, very good here. Advanced offensive would be good. Range on this would be good. But like I said, I think we invest in shield fortresses. Okay. The problem with this is that this is very risky, but let's get that. Let's get this. Well, that sucks. Okay, that's gonna wreck everything. Yeah, not really, actually. Okay. Okay, yeah, definitely overlapping shields is going to be something that really helps out here, but at this point in time, I am actually going to go for the air stuff, but we're also going to go for... does he have any anti-air, actually? It's just got Fangs. What we're going to need to get here is definitely, like, Stormcaller. And we're going to give these guys Incendiary Bombs, we're going to give these guys Oil Drums. Oh, wait. Okay, that increased that shield bubble strength. Can go like this, I feel like, for these guys. We want to kind of have the fire spreading out from these oil fires. But getting this to work properly might be a little bit weird. Okay. Yeah, I think my opponent's probably going to win this one. He's got a really good play with those. Orbital Jav actually works really well for us here. Works well for him as well, unfortunately, but we can drop that right here, and that'll actually fix a bunch of our problems for us. I kind of want to actually get these guys portable shields, but what I'm going to do is drop these guys. And then okay. So this is sort of a do or die moment, but I feel like it's probably likely to be die. That survived the orbital jab. That's actually really scary. Okay, so we're probably going to lose this on this, but that is fine. We are probably going to call it here, though, because it is... No, actually, I've got enough time for one more. I've used that strategy before that my opponent did, and it works really well. I needed to, like, start beating it, like, way earlier. Okay, I think I've got time for maybe 2 more. We'll see. We'll have to see. I didn't get a chance to try the unit that I was talking about. Maybe that would have been actually okay there. I don't think it would have, though. I feel like they would have, like, gotten possessed and turned around and done something terrible to me, but... Okay. We'll go with the Giant Specialist because they got the Fire Badger. We could also do Speed Specialist. Speed Specialist might actually be better for Fire Badgers. Yeah, okay, we'll try this. We'll try this. Void Eye is another unit that I'm not really super familiar with how to use properly, so, you know. Oh, they left. Okay, well, never mind, I guess. Okay. Lopez the hero. Alrighty. Well, I don't have access to the same kinds of options that I did before, which is unfortunate. Supply specialist, just get that one, I guess. I'm not super enamored with that option, but let's see here. They got lots of crawlers, and they've got tarantulas. So, they've got really decent like clear, and I don't have the best chaff to begin with, so it might be like kind of have chaff, but I don't have like super chaff or anything like that. But the problem again is going to be taking out the tougher stuff. I think what I want to do is actually go for something a bit weird here. Let's try going fangs, I guess, into this situation, but we're just going to actually get more void eyes. Okay. So this all here, I want to do that. I want to actually play this fairly far back. And the one extra unit here, we're actually going to go like this. Okay, next turn we'll get the Fire Badgers and we'll see what that's about. I might have wanted to have gone even further back for this, given the circumstances, but it looks like we were at about the right distance. They've also put themselves in a kind of weird spot relative to all this, because we're getting like the maximum benefit out of this thing, which my opponent should not be wanting. Didn't help us that much, though. I think these things actually beat Void Eyes. That's interesting. Okay. Well, good to know. So I want something that can actually take out those guys, like, a bit more effectively, but we're not even killing, like, the little guys all that super well. I think that Sledgehammer works well into, like, everything a little bit, but not well into anything, so we're just going to go with that. We're going to want to have these guys probably back like that. And what I'm going to want is, of course, the Fire Badgers, like I said, which I think are going to be okay here. I think we want them, like, back here, sort of thing. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and give extra durability. Okay, they've gone for way more Tarantula. I think those do okay against Fire Badger, but not, like, super well or anything like that. The question is, how are we going to hold once we got that upgrade that we're getting, which is going to make it so we've got like 50% more hit points on the Fire Badgers. Nice, okay. I don't love any of these. I'm going to take Improved Phoenix. Not even necessarily going to take those, but having that available is always nice. I'm going to take Sabertooth here. And I wouldn't mind actually getting this right now. I feel like that's a fine choice at this point in time. And then we're just going to go ahead and grab a couple of these guys at this point in time. Well, maybe not, actually. Well, yeah, what we're going to do here, actually, is probably the Sabertooths. And then we'll have another Void Eye. I probably need crawlers. We could probably get rid of this thing faster if we had a... what's it called in front of it? But what we're going to do is actually try and go for a pretty big hit against their hit points this turn. That was a big hit. Okay. He's gone for the advanced shield defense, which is kind of whatever, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to go for the advanced targeting, which costs me a bit, but that's fine. I'm going to unlock the crawlers this turn. I do want to get phoenixes, actually, but I kind of just need to start putting like a bunch of chaff on the field here, even though it feels like that's going to be a bit of a waste. I need to just have something that is capable of absorbing some shots for us here. Let's go ahead and get some extra attack damage. He's also gone for some fire badgers, which is interesting. This would be probably a really good, smart time to get those phoenixes. He's gone for the armor-piercing shells on these guys, because he knows that he's not fighting anything other than tougher units, so... Okay, we're getting a little bit rolled here, but not too badly. Okay, I don't need any of those things necessarily, but I'm going to get the Stormcallers just because that's going to make it so that it's a little bit harder for opponent. He's got a lot of stuff that's kind of vulnerable to that, so he'll have to respond to it. Doesn't seem like the sort of opponent that's going to go for the direct counter either, so... Alright. Go for a couple improved Phoenixes, and we get the range enhancement on them. Get those to go back here, and back here. And we're going to go ahead and add in some extra troops, just regular old crawlers. And after this, we're going to start working on getting a whole bunch of fangs out as well. He's gone for range on the tarantulas as well, so that might be an overcommit at this point. He has gotten for marksman as well, though. Those are going to be pretty scary fangs, all in all, but... Or, not fangs, tarantulas. Do we outrange them with these? We got 190. 130. Yeah, we outrange them. Quite a bit, too. Any more layers, I guess, of fire badgers. Somehow he doesn't have any of his marksmen anymore. I don't know what killed them. Orbital Bombardment. Actually really, really strong here. He'll probably drop a shield in response to that, but it's kind of fine. I want them sort of pushed forward here, so I'm going to go ahead and get ranged against some of these guys. I'm going to get some of these and drop them like right behind them. He's probably also going to drop Orbital Bombardment on me, but hopefully not going to be as deadly. I am slightly better positioned against an Orbital Bombardment than he is. Yep. Okay. Underground threat might be really strong here. I think we'll go for it. Just keep him distracted on one side here, where these guys are in particular, I feel like is going to be good. We could go for electromag plating on our sort of like void eyes here. That would actually be pretty strong. The energy shields would be good on those guys, but I don't think we go for that. I feel like we go for more Fire Badgers in this instance, and I would potentially like to try the Scorching Charge on them. Alright, so that's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it should be interesting. I was saying I need chaff, but these guys are kind of like a tanky unit at this point in time, because their hit points are 10,000 per. That's pretty beefy. Should have bought something else here as a new unit, though. Yeah, the units actually get popped so quickly that they don't have a chance to get too close to the enemy there. The full animation of them slowly turning around is like too much there, I think. Oh, they're gonna win this. Okay. I do feel like we're onto something, though, in overall sort of composition sense here. Some rates would be potentially interesting, but I don't think they'd be that good. Rhinos would be very interesting. But again, I don't think they'd be very good. Steel Ball might be what we go for, just as a distraction unit. Could add this and make it so that they're even tougher, but I don't think that that's at this point in time going to really cut it. Do something like that, I feel like is okay. I'm going to go ahead and access another unit. I'm going to get the Mountain as another unit that we've got unlocked. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab just another one of these guys. I think we dropped this actually here. Okay, this map is getting hectic real fast in a way that is kind of unpredictable. Okay, they're gonna win that one. But I think we're doing okay overall. I just need to pull through with a little bit more. If he goes smoke bomb, that would be really, really dangerous, but it would also be really dangerous if we got it, and if we successfully land a smoke bomb here, like, this is gonna devastate him. But he's almost certainly gonna block this. Like, there's almost no chance that he doesn't. Still though. Let's go ahead and get our first mountain. Drop that there. Okay. We'll grab that now. No, we'll grab that next turn. I'm gonna do this. Then we'll drop that. I'm not sure I really like the new upgrades for the, it needs to come with invulnerability on the charge, I think, or something like that, because they just die on the way in. Still though. Okay. Okay, I don't need a smoke bomb again, but I could take a second one. The fact they won with the smoke bomb on him, yeah. Yeah, the mountain is actually pretty interesting, but I don't really love it. I'm going to take shield airdrop here. He's going to drop another smoke on me, almost certainly, but he's still smoked this turn, so I don't have to worry about that this turn. The mountain has stupid abilities, and I kind of don't like some of them. But it does have a specific niche that I think is actually kind of interesting. Let's give it the huge range here. So this is like, just reaches across the entire damn map, basically. The problem is it has a lot less damage when you do that, but... Okay. And then I need to drop you... I do feel quite often that they've, like, over-nerfed the Stormcallers, given how many things they've added, like, point defense to, but it's probably reasonable. Yeah, I don't like the new charge ability. I don't think it's very good. He's just going for, like, that as a sort of meme strat, probably, I think. Because they are very good. I don't know if they buffed them, per se, but they are very, very good. They have been actually for a while, though. That's not actually new. install that in the middle there. But yeah, they have been actually quite strong for like quite a while. So it's not really a new thing per se, but... I do need shields, but I'll actually get a couple of these guys out now. Spider Mines are doing some good work. Yeah, they're distracting a lot of my stuff. The Spider Mines, I think, have gotten an increase in their, what's it called? The amount of hit points they have. Because I don't remember them taking that much damage earlier, but... we can get this. Then we'll drop that there. Okay. Am I not causing any damage to that guy? Felt like he was immune to damage there. Well, that was pretty close. The acid should still be there. Small quantities early game. Yeah, that's probably something that's different about them now, I'd say. You can mask them, but the thing is, I'm trying out stupid new stuff. Like, I'm trying out all these upgrades on the Fire Badgers, and I don't think they're very good. So I've sunk a lot of resources into stuff that's, strictly speaking, not very strong. And I think that that's been a part of what's leading into the situation here. But, you know, you do what you can with what you got. I don't think that he had the option to drop anything that interesting other than just a nuke. But, you know, so see how that goes for them. I'm not going to bother dropping a bunch of shields down this turn. But I am going to do this. Oh yeah, it's got the armor plating on those guys. I don't want that. I want you guys to... Actually, let's just drop them back here. Oh, he did drop the nuke. Okay. He dropped the nuke, and he dropped a shit ton of shields. He's gonna finish me off this round, definitely. Because it's gonna land on some stuff I definitely don't want it landing on top of. Oh, these guys survived that. The rocket hands are helping out quite a bit. Oh, we're gonna win this one. Interesting. Always trying the new stuff? Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the time it does not work out. I would say majority of the time it does not work out, but you know. You take what you can get. You take what you can get. Let's go ahead and get the wasps. Just sort of distract his few anti-air options that he's got there. I wouldn't mind giving these guys the shields as well, given the circumstances. Okay, you know what? Can barely even fit these bad boys in anywhere. This one I don't think we can fit anywhere at all. Okay. Actually, let's move this more like over here. Get those unlocked. I wish I could afford the upgrade for this guy, because that would actually help tremendously. I do feel like the damage reduction on the mountains for their extended range is a little bit extreme, potentially, but it's probably like that for a very good reason. Like, if it wasn't, it would probably be absolutely busted. But the way that they do the scaling can kind of, like, make that kind of not work very well, in my opinion. I won the game. Giant Mech Snipers have got to be one of the coolest units. That was a dumb match. Alright. Yeah, so the new changes to, like, they're trying to do something with the what's it called? So the Fire Badgers to make them a little bit more useful, but this doesn't quite come with what it needs to work. If like a unit in this game is starting to like get focus fired and they drop down to like 20% health, they're almost guaranteed to die just like immediately thereafter. So there's no like a whole point in Scorching Charge because they never make it to the target. Like I've never seen one of these things like I've seen very few connect, and usually when they do, they just hit like a what's it called, a crawler or something like that. Fortress with Mega Range Mountain Up, yeah, those ones are really good. But like I don't like these upgrades. They've added some stuff that I don't think it really helps with the Fire Badger being bad, because it was bad and it still is, in my opinion. I think that's especially because they added Shockwave to these guys, making it so they've got like a much huger AoE. These guys have become like way, way, way better relative to the Fire Badgers, especially because they can lob those from like farther distance. Although that's expensive, I guess. Arclight's getting all those upgrades. I don't know. Like Fire Badger maybe needs like more base tankiness or something like that. I don't even know. They can't go too nuts with that though either. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should actually have range enhancement there as well, just so I can choose to get that instead. Because what would the range be if I just have range enhancement? 140? That's not that long, I guess. Like, extended range ammo giving you that 160 extra is like such a huge amount that's really meaningful, but I don't think that the gun launch missile increases its range, though. It has 180 innately. It's probably fine. Felt there were better chaff clear options. Yeah, the Fire Badgers feels like it's like still one of the worst ones. It felt like it was really bad to begin with, but like it feels like those did not help it whatsoever. If they wanted to make like Scorching Charge work, it had to make it so that this thing was capable of like going and being invincible while it was on its charge. And Counterfire needs to like I don't know what it would need to make Counterfire more viable there. But it doesn't do much. Like, probably the fact that if it's taking damage 9 times out of 10, it's, like, capable of firing at something anyway. So I haven't actually noticed Counterfire doing too much to make it feel like it is attacking more often. Even though 145, like, range is really, really good. If it's been locked onto, it's not going to survive a huge amount of time after that anyway. The extra health is quite nice, though, for that. That's a lot of extra health. I don't know. Yeah, it feels like long-range stuff is still just disproportionately way better than short-range stuff, and that's kind of always been the case, but, like, that hasn't really changed much over the patches or what have you. I should probably get range enhancement back on these guys. I've taken it off for a variety of reasons. I'm trying to use these guys as, like, shield electromag, and then have them sort of, like, up close and doing that sort of stuff, but they're not usually doing a great job with that sort of thing. They're kind of okay, though. I kind of don't mind the Void Eyes. It's just they're not great or anything. Well, in any event, though, yeah, I don't have quite enough time for me to want to do another round there, but Yeah, I still need to play some more to figure out what's changed about the meta. I'm mostly playing against newer players because I'm in the like bronze like trash tier again. But that's where I belong because I haven't played this in a long time. Still been winning a decent amount of my games proportionally, but yeah, I've been playing this actually quite a bit lately. Range is just really strong stat in these types of games generally. Yeah. I don't mind range being a really strong stat. What I want is for the closer range stuff to have better ways of mitigating that a little bit to make it so that they can get in closer without getting mowed down quite as spectacularly as they currently do, which does happen a little bit too much. I feel like the shorter range stuff just doesn't really have really good ways of dealing with long range stuff generally. The sandworm is probably like the only real exception to that, where it's just invulnerable for the approach, but I think that's a little bit too extreme for the majority of those units. I wouldn't want all the close range stuff to have invincibility on that long range. Worms burrowing is a good example. Yeah, that one I feel like is too strong though for that. I don't want crawlers to be invincible while they're approaching. For example, I'd want them to be popping up and then taking damage though when they're getting burrowed is fine. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, it'd be nice if there was something that would make them a little bit more equivalent. I feel like you could probably get away with just making the range stuff way more expensive than it is relative to the short range stuff, but who knows? Anyway, that is going to be our stream for today. I'll be back at Persona 3 on Monday. And hopefully we'll be done. I've beaten death, so I'm definitely strong enough to win the game. Because I think that usually Nyx is weaker than Death. I can't remember, actually. No, probably not. I don't remember the order of operations for that well. But yeah, we've got one more fight that I have to do. We'll see how that goes. But in any event, I hope you found this one enjoyable. And of course, as always,